Alrighty, I am just like the majority report. I'm a minute late. Alright, no title screen today, guys. I needed to take care of something. Alright, so we got some fun stuff on the agenda today, but I gotta send out a few tags. Alright. Whoa. Okay, I just got like legit a heart monitor warning. Weird. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water. Alright, calm down a little bit. I don't know what the hell that was about. Alright. And then one more. All right. Cool. And then yeah, one more. Send it out in Discord. Oh, okay. It's already. Alright, took care of that. Alrighty. I said that a lot. Believe it or not, this is actually done with show prep. Like, I surprisingly always get held up on this end, specifically because I don't know how to... I tried to do this in the description, and I couldn't do it, where it just wouldn't let me set my chat stuff, so... Here we go. Hell? Am I not live? I should be live right now. What the hell? That's weird. Oh shit, do I have this set to private? I hope I don't have to end stream and restart. Okay, no. There we go. That was weird. Alright. So, join the chat. Leave a like. Try the stream. Okay. There we go. All set. Then, where is my bumper? I have a little bumper screen that I've been trying to work on here, and I cannot find it for the life of me right now. It's really annoying. Where are you? Okay, I don't know. I don't know where it went. This sucks. You know, you try and do things right. You try and save things to the right place, and somehow, some way, they just don't end up where they should. Uh-oh. Give me a second here. Oh, sorry about that. That's right. I forgot. People are used to me going live at 4 now. Yeah, today's an early one. Wednesdays usually will be a little bit earlier because I can really only go to 6. I'm not able to do the late ones. I got some prior engagements. So, all right. Well, today, not sure if I have already said this, are going to be covering some fun topics. Everything that is listed is actually going to be covered. I have a fun video I didn't know existed of Sam Seder responding to the Hasan and Ethan drama. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. There is also some funny news about Matt Gaetz that I kind of wanted to cover, which I hate to say it. It's just a bunch of how do you say it? Schadenfreude? Yeah, I think that's it. That's all that is really. I'm not even that interested in the story, to be completely honest. But then there is a great video of a Palestinian comedian just totally owning a heckler, and I cannot wait to cover that one. That one's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have another Sam Seder interview. So this is going to be Majority Report Heavy Day. A Majority Report Heavy Day. Jeez, I can talk. He talked with Mike from PA. Mike from PA is a Twitch streamer who he started out as a YouTube commenter. So it's yeah. It was kind of interesting to see his rise, where legit you would just see him like in the Majority Report chat, and you'd see him in other political spaces, and he would just pop up and he'd be like, hey, it's Mike from PA again. He was very, very, very active, like very active. Alrighty, so can I? Oh, somebody is at my door. I just heard a knock. That is unfortunate timing. Here, give me 1 second. All right. I'll just turn the music up for a minute. I gotta go answer this. I don't know who this is. I hope it's just a quick package deal. Alrighty. Ugh. Got my scaredy bear. Got my dog. It was totally what I thought it was. It was just the mailman. Okay. We got one more thing I gotta do here. Hey, they trying to go out. All right, I might have to take care of that after stream. Might. We're gonna take care of that. Alrighty. I just walked back to a there we go. A little more chill. Got that going. Alrighty. We got the co-host today. Look at him. Wait. This way. Sorry. He keeps moving. Oh, man. I was not expecting to get a random solicitor at my door. I just told him to go away. I have one of my very first videos was about dealing with solicitors. It's incredibly annoying when they're just, hi, do you want to buy solar panels? It's just like, no, I don't want to buy your solar panels. All right, so we got some politics. I hope that's why you're here. The show is called High on Politics, but it's also called High on Politics. So meet the Scaredy Bear if you're not aware of who the Scaredy Bear is. I like to get scared, so let's do that before we delve into the politics. Yeah, this is going to be great for my psyche long term. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, I got a clog. Whoa. And when you get a clog... Jeez. That was a big one. All right. Well, I suppose I should probably get to the segment here. Why is this not working? Everything is working really weird on my computer right now. Oh, that would explain it. Hold on. Jeez. Okay, I got like 70 windows open on that one from yesterday. Okay. Click, 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 click. All right, cool. All right, so on this show, I say for Gondor, and that's where you will know that I'm going into a segment, because the way that I like to break down my content, especially because I'm a smaller YouTuber, so it just makes my life easy, I will just record that segment, put it up for a video for the people that aren't able to watch the live stream, and then, yeah, go on from there. So, yes, I will be saying for Gondor in just one moment. I have to lubricate the vocal cords because, yeah, that's another thing. It's the one risk I'm running here is, smoking on stream. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, for Gondor, people. Alright, well, it seems that Sam Seder, and you would think that I would know this or even remember that it happened, but I must have missed the show that day. He jumped onto the Hasan and Ethan situation and gave his opinion on it on Majority Report, which, again, I must have completely missed that, which that is beyond unfortunate for me because that's premium content for me. I definitely would have, put out a video or something about that, Yes, Hasan is one of the larger streamers in this space, so he definitely gets some traction, but I actually enjoy covering the Majority Report a little bit more. Sam Seder is what I would like to consider one of the last professional broadcasters, not just on YouTube, but what I really appreciate about his show is how he breaks it down like a classic radio show. He has his segments. His call-in portion is, spectacular when it comes to that. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Like, it is AM radio classic, and I really appreciate that, especially because I grew up with my dad didn't listen to like political radio, but lots of talk radio. Steve Dahl, I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. That was my dad's favorite. He loved Steve Dahl. But so with Sam Seder covering Hasan, I'm going into this completely fresh. I don't know what his take is on this, so it's gonna be really interesting to see. So let's check it.
28 mark. Kaya, no growling. What drama?
Yeah, I'm not
feel
a
that
Buttigieg fan, but he was the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. The book. Yeah, exactly. Call him.
So I've sorry, I'm like really nervous. I'm calling because I've seen like a lot of really crazy mudslinging towards one of my favorite content creators, whom I know you have a good relationship as well with, Hasan Piker. And I'm not sure.
Damn, he's going straight to Unk, dude. He's going straight to Unk. That's Unk. That's my uncle. Everybody, calm down.
And keeping up with it because it's sort of like
weird how he says that because Jake is actually his uncle.
Political commentators and like I myself, I'm a Jewish person. I went on Birthright when I was 19, and I was radicalized by Birthright Unplugged. So I was able to see what was going on in the occupied West Bank at the time, and it was particularly upsetting to me. So I guess.
Well, I actually have a friend that went on Birthright, and he came back the opposite, where he came back almost like militant.
The reason I'm calling is because I'm just curious if you are aware of what's going on. Because for me, it's just so personally upsetting to see this happen to someone that I feel like has been so staunchly in the right place with this issue, being brutally attacked by people whom I viewed as being like figureheads of like a progressive movement. People like Ethan Klein, other YouTubers as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have not followed this closely. I've seen and I'm on Twitter less and less these days, but I've definitely seen.
Sorry, he was doing a chair
Twitter,
stream for that portion.
And I don't know if it was like last week or when Hasan, had texted me that he found this whole thing upsetting. All I can tell you is right now, it seems like we have entered a stage where strong supporters of Israel, ones who I would say have been, really intensely in denial as to what Israel is doing and what it's become. And put aside, the question of like, for the moment, for the sake of this argument or this situation, the founding of Israel as being highly problematic. Just take this past year in isolation. If there had been no history whatsoever, if this was completely outside of a context, there's just simply no way. And I think the context actually does not make it any more favorable for Israel. I think quite the opposite. But let's just assume for a moment that this only happened on October 7th. That Hamas came over, they broke through, they killed somewhere between 600 and 800 civilians, and then anywhere between 300 or 400 military personnel, which is the case. The idea that this is a proportionate response, the killing of, at a minimum, I mean, I don't think there's...
Hasan has become an L. The thing I don't understand about that kind of sentiment is that, like, if you consider me to be an L now, then I didn't become that. Like, I've always been this L. Because the one thing is, it's me, I'm the one who called. Yes, I'm the chatter. Yeah. Oh. The thing is, like, I'm pretty consistent, especially on stuff like this, right? So
he is. I'll give him that.
I think that it's not necessarily that I have become an L. I think maybe your opinion changed on the matter. And that deserves some, I think, self-reflection. And I'm always going to be open-minded. I'm always going to be open-minded to people who change their minds. Maybe you changed your mind in the opposite direction. but I will still hold out hope that you will one day be charitable again to the things that I'm saying, you know? But I haven't really changed my framework, my perception, my attitude on the way that Israel operates. The only thing
that's
that I've turned
really
into
weird
an L
way
on
to
is
look at Hasan's
the
view
size
on
of the
that.
t-shirts that I wear. I used to wear XXL and now I wear larges. So I guess on that front, you are right.
There's any sort of
Hey, welcome to the stream, guys.
reasonable individual that thinks it's less than 40,000 plus people, and that we know that almost 2/3 of this is women and children. We know that there have been thousands of kids underneath the age of like 2 who have been killed. I don't think there's anybody. Even without the context, this just looks like war crime after war crime.
May I ask a question, Sam?
Yeah.
So getting to that point, like, I think what's particularly upsetting about this, like, obviously the entire situation.
Iammer Bullprog called in and talked about their criticisms of you. Okay.
Is incredibly upsetting, and it's one of the most horrendous things that I hope I'll ever have to witness in my life. But I think what's particularly upsetting, like I mentioned before, is seeing people whom I previously thought were fairly progressive become like radicalized against this issue. And
listen,
people that are so much worse with their bad faith arguments. And I wonder if you think it's more.
It's weird how he's like calling out Ethan without saying Ethan.
Without that, just hits home for them in a weird way where they're able to suspend their disbelief.
That was the point that I was trying to make. It's like, I feel like we have hit a stage of this now where it is so horrific, it is so obvious that even without
you can't even acknowledge it.
Even without context, that to remain in denial, you need to go further, right? Like, you can't hunker down. You need to go on the offense. I will tell you this: I had a guy, family friend of my father's age, who called him this week and asked if I was an anti-Semite.
Yeah. So this is ironically enough, the reason why I wanted Sam to talk to Ethan as well, because this is like getting too into, in a very public fashion, but getting too into like inter-community conversations. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know how sometimes we open the door? You know how sometimes we open a door and peek into black people's business? This is Jewish people's business to a certain degree. Like the way that...
Yeah, but that's why Sam is the perfect one to handle this.
American Jews analyze Israel and the opinions that they have. Like, this is a inside baseball conversation almost. Like, I understand why that chatter is frustrated, because he's like recognizing the cognitive dissonance demonstrated by people who he recognizes were progressive, who have gone through a genuine attitude change, right? And yet that attitude change has like limits in terms of the analysis. I think that it's just slightly parasocial. I don't think so, because like I have two different camps here, right? I have like hardline anti-Zionist Jewish friends who are very close friends of mine, as you guys know, who I love and have so much respect for, who have already had these opinions very publicly for a very long time. And then there are a lot of young Jewish Hasanabi heads that I talk to who have basically gone through this journey into anti-Zionism, and the communal attitudes that are reflected back at them, like the push and pull basically of your own personal convictions on this matter versus the way that your immediate family members treat you, and your sense of community basically being robbed from you because of your difference in opinion on this matter.
Yeah.
Because of how many of these communities are built around the concept of like defending Israel.
Yeah, but I've also seen this in just like other religious family situations where the like less radical, like the more radicalized the family, and then the less radicalized the like kid gets. I've seen a lot of pushback from that. Like I've seen it in my own situation a little bit.
I think that's a real issue. Sense of community, Lamau. No, I mean it's true. What do you mean? You can't say that like sense of community, Lamau. There are plenty of anti-Zionist Jews who. There are plenty of anti-Zionist Jews who literally are just like, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, you know, you have Hillel on campus, you have all these like Jewish groups on campus, and they straight up are like, oh, are you fucking anti-Israel? Fuck you. You're a token. Get out of here. Like you get excommunicated like a fucking Mormon. To be clear, I've been pro-Palestinian since I did Birthright Unplugged at 19. I'm 33 now, but it's upsetting because I saw firsthand the propaganda. Yeah. No, I'm talking specifically about like when I go to the encampments and stuff and I talk to the students there. One of the most common things I heard from Jewish students at the encampment was like, you know, you have no like you basically don't have the same like community resources all of a sudden because like it's just they take that shit away from you. You're like not a part of it. You know, you have to be pro-Israel. And I feel like that's a frustrating situation, and I haven't been able to find it like a good solution to that at all when people ask me that question. You know, like I do understand how that would be. I can understand how that would feel. That sense of isolation is going to be something that is damaging to your psyche for sure. Like I get that. I don't know. This is 100% going to be clip chimped. Wait, what? Well, I didn't say anything. I did not say anything even remotely inappropriate.
No,
here.
he's
I'm
being
talking
very
about
fair.
my own personal experiences talking to anti-Zionist Jews that are Hasan heads at college encampments. Like, if they fucking, you know, if people clip this out of context to say that this is anti-Semitic, then so be it. Like, I've been getting called.
Then you're not going to win that battle
every goddamn day. I've been getting called an Islamist fundamentalist terrorist every fucking day. I think the best phrase to describe the thing that myself and a lot of other fellow Jewish Hasan heads is internalized shame. And it's something that I struggle with every day. I literally feel ostracized with my Jewish friends every day because of my beliefs. I think the best phrase to describe it is internalized shame. Like, I don't think you should feel shame. I think that is...
Yeah, but that's uncontrollable. You're just, like, if you're a big part of those communities, that's just going to happen.
Conditioning, right?
Hey,
I think that as a Jewish person, you should
standing
never
up for
feel
what's right
shame
is
about
never
the actions of Israel.
Guaranteed benefits to people. Yep.
Never, ever feel shame about the actions of Israel. Because
no, if anything, it's like people get mad at you for standing up for what's right, and then they just double down on their shitty behaviors.
It has nothing to do with you. You know? It has nothing to do with you whatsoever. I understand where it comes from. I think it literally comes from like all of the social conditioning from you know, early adolescent stages in your life, and how like that sense of community and almost like a higher national religious understanding in the form of like Zionist ideology has substituted maybe some of the practices that you could normally feel that you normally would feel is a part of your culture. But I don't feel shame. I just feel dismayed that people who raised me aren't living by their own teachings. Is very upsetting. Yeah, you should never ever in a million years feel shame. If you're an American Jew, you should never ever feel shame towards the actions of Israel. I will never allow it.
No,
Zionism was born in the Jewish communities from a very young age. It was taught to me at Hebrew school and amongst the word of the mouth.
Their actions are what you need to attack.
But once again,
attacking them for just being Jewish, that's wrong.
This is why I always talk about this issue. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand. When I separate Zionism and Israel from Judaism across the board, I'm doing this because I see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing this one because it's the truth. Zionism is totally separate from Judaism. It does not matter if your local rabbi says that it isn't. Okay. It doesn't matter. You can voluntarily adopt this ideology because you think that this will, time will pass, and you can use this as a deflection to be like, oh, well, every Jewish person is ideologically and religiously tied to Israel. It doesn't matter. This is what's taught in Hebrew school or whatever, but like, and it's a part of my Jewish identity. It still doesn't matter because you are not recognizing that you are teaching people something that is wrong. And not only is it wrong, but it's also causing people to associate Israel's actions with Judaism when it is so far removed from Judaism, almost antithetical to the values that at least I have learned about Judaism.
Absolutely. Like, that's
Jewish
the weird
culture
part. Like, when they get militant, it's so weird because in like Hasidic Judaism, it's very, it's almost like a pacifism kind of angle. Like,
that may be a point of contention, though. Do you have the right to make that distinction as a non-Jewish person? Yeah, I understand that.
Well,
I understand when people go, people try to do like, well, it's, my own ideology, my own choice, that type of thing. It's not because of Israel. It's because I'm shamed by my community for not being pro-Israel. I know this is a long shot, but I would also be more than welcome to guest star one day to talk about my upbringing and the constant struggle of being someone who is Jewish and anti-Israel. I know you've talked about this a billion times, but I still be open sometime if you want. I'm pretty sure Megaphonics will also be more than glad to do so as well. Yeah. I hate how insane everyone has become.
Yeah, Rise, love that neighbor.
It's impossible to talk to family I used to be friends with on.
Is it Rise or Riz?
Holidays. I've seen too many dead babies. I literally burst out at any of my family when they bring up Israel. Like, I want my grandparents on Haifa dead. It's my fault for seeing Palestinians as humans. Yeah. But like, I'm like, Sam himself has is personally talking about his own experiences. Like, people think.
Shout out to Bread. What's up, dude?
People in his own community, in his own immediate circle of friends, is like looking at him and assuming that he is like anti-Semitic for his opinion on Israel. And it's a very
awesome. That's what I thought.
Very weird situation because, like, when people say white people
it's Rise
are under attack in America or Christianity is under attack in America, we all understand that that's fucking bullshit, right? That is the oppressive group trying to do a reverse racism narrative. But with anti-Semitism, there is real anti-Semitism. There is actually a sense of marginalization that is valid. There is actually a genuine impact of anti-Semitism that is a canary for fascist ideology. So when that gets diluted with anti-Zionism in a very nefarious cycle that tries to associate all of the actions of Israel with Judaism, you are literally, without recognizing, telling people something that is objectively false, okay? Just like Saudi Arabia and its actions have nothing to do with Islam.
I'm sorry, but you can also apply this to Christianity and Zionist Christians. Like, there is a lot like of that, especially in America.
Okay? Or the rest of the Muslim world, Israel's actions have nothing to do with Judaism or, how American Jews or Jews wherever they live in the world and their day-to-day experiences. It has nothing to do with that. It is a state, right? It is a state built around an ethno and religious supremacist ideology that is built on top of an area where there are millions of indigenous people and tens of millions that have been displaced already. Like, it has nothing. It has nothing to do with Judaism across the board, no matter how hard people have.
No, and honestly, that's why in this community, excuse me, I do try to fight against that kind of, it's almost like xenophobia, like against, Jewish people, where they're just like, well, they're all Zionists. It's like, no. We can't do that, guys.
And it always feels like I'm going crazy when people associate it when they are either Jewish themselves or pro-Jewish, right? It's like hearing straight up a Muslim.
I'm anti-religion, but I'm pro just letting people do what they want to do.
Guy,
as long as it doesn't hurt people.
In the Western world, be like, claiming that like ISIS is actually good for Islam.
Speaking for myself.
And that ISIS actually is the true idea of Islam. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you saying? That's what it feels like. And I can't. You've made a turn, man. Not a good path. Once again, I have not.
Wow, they weren't talking about Ethan. They were talking about Hasan when they were talking to Sam.
Especially on this issue, I have not. You either weren't paying attention in the past or your opinion most likely changed. Unless you can identify what the turn is, unless you can identify in your mind what the turn is, we can't have this, we can't have like a normal conversation. It's just your vibes.
I honestly, yeah, exactly. Because they haven't really said anything as far as like actual substance or just like an actual quote from Hasan. They just are literally saying, I just feel like you kind of shifted on this.
In a Twitch chat, it's more nuanced than that. What? It just
come on.
Can give some.
It's hard to read chat with nuance.
I suspect, right? Here's another story from Nandre. A little anecdotal, though. When I lived in Israel, many of the younger Israelis despise Zionism because they live inside it and saw the garbage effects it has on life. It's why it's such a frustrating dialogue over there. The West is so far removed from it and pushes it so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely is the other aspect of it, too.
Do we ever hear about Israeli liberals?
I'm giving you the opportunity to speak up. To what Nandre said, it makes all the worse that Hebrew school teaches us about such a politically fraught and deep topic like Zionism at such a young age, and now tell us it's the Palestinians who indoctrinate their children who hate us, as though hating Palestinians isn't the obvious lesson of Zionist youth lessons. I cannot even reconcile that obvious cognitive dissonance with people who still believe that, even in old age. Yeah. It's just, you can point to videos that I have on this topic, ironically enough, with the same exact people that I'm still talking to on the same exact subject matter from like 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what's so funny about people being like, wow, you've changed.
That's so weird. Like, again, when he's being fair too, like that's why they're saying, oh, you changed in your stance. It's like, no, he's just being very fair about this.
Paying attention to what I was saying for the past almost
or they're projecting
decade, or your perspective on the matter changed, and now you analyze what I'm saying with a very different lens.
No, they're projecting on you. That's the weird. That's what I would say.
You were literally asking me for talking points, and I refuse. What? Okay, so what do you want? You just wanted to chirp?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Wait, chirp has entered the lexicon of like Twitch speak. That's a hockey term, guys.
You just wanted the wine? Is that what it was? I would hope anyone would change in 10 years. I mean, if society is unchanging, on a lot of these issues, like, why would you expect me to change, my mindset to change? You know, that doesn't make any point. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, I've been consistently now for more than a decade been, and even beyond that, but very publicly, more than a decade been pro-immigration, right? Pro-reform, rehabilitation over incarceration when it comes to the criminal justice system. I have, and none of those structural problems.
Just so you know, that's like been one of my issues.
Have gone away.
I've always advocated for getting rid of the death penalty, prison reform. We really need to just like criminal justice like system overhaul. War on drugs.
I have been very critical of policing as an institution in this country. That has not changed.
Very consistent about that one too.
So, like, and with respect to Israel, it's not like Israel 10 years ago was different. It was still an apartheid, and it still is. Like, my core values and the way that I understand the world have not shifted dramatically for most people, not just you. These people just started paying attention, not you. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like, wait a second. First off, I'm not saying anything now that I haven't been saying for a year. And I've been critical increasingly over the years, to be fair. But starting in 2004, when we did this show on AM Talk Radio, we had the Israeli embassy contact our show, after our first segment about Israel, which was in, I don't know, second month of doing the show, because they wanted to refute our points. I mean, we were critical of Israel. I think I
just denounced terrorists. I do. Your voice speaks loud. Do with that what you will. I denounce terrorists every day. I denounce the terror state of Israel every day. I denounce America's actions that are state-sponsored terror every day. Every day. Yeah, I do.
I've become more critical as I've learned more about,
people are still people, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're still human beings. Whatever kind of fucking sticker you associate with them does not change that dynamic. People understandably have a desire to live free. Okay? That is a normal human desire to have. Okay? If you understand that the standard of violence is set by the larger, more powerful party, which in this case would be the settler colonial country with nuclear arms that are getting endless amounts of funds and weapons from the largest superpower on the planet historically, then you have to recognize that the overarching harm, the larger harm, is always still coming from Israel. Israel is setting the standard of violence. The Nat Turner rebellion, albeit incredibly violent, which included white people being slaughtered in their bedrooms, you know what I mean, did not change the morality of chattel slavery. It didn't. Just like the ANC's actions did not change the morality of the South African apartheid. When the dust settles, you will not look back at these situations, at these acts of violence, resisting against, no matter how abhorrent they may be. Okay? And October 7 had a tremendous amount of abhorrent acts of violence. Okay? Specifically against civilians.
Yeah.
When the dust is settled, if there is truly a progressive slant to history, you will look back at that as a dark moment in history, but ultimately, the much larger harm will be accurately pointed to and the much larger issue will be in the hands. The larger responsibility will be in the hands of the settler colonial entity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The dust will never settle in this conflict.
Look at America.
You're wrong. You're wrong on that too. No, the dust will settle on this for sure. Because I don't believe that history magically has a slant towards progress. But I do look at history and recognize that the normal condition for humans is to collaborate with one another rather than being in a constant state of war, as evidenced by the European collaboration that we now take for granted, despite the fact that not that long ago, they were warring with one another, right? It's not optimism. I'm just simply looking at the way history has worked.
Yeah, the many parallels of the Yugoslavian conflict with the with Israel and Gaza is also something, and that was only in like the 80s. I think that ended in the 80s.
Okay. People who have killed one another for centuries now collaborate with one another, and it's not even a question. And we take that collaboration for granted. We assume that that is the normal condition. The other thing that I also know is that this level of violence is inherently unsustainable. Okay? This level of violence that Israel is dishing out to every single one of its neighbors and to territories that it currently illegally occupies is completely and utterly unsustainable. Okay? That's it. Fascism is inherently a suicidal ideology. It is constantly seeking out an out-group at the behest of protecting an in-group. History is riddled with examples of ultranationalist ideologies self-destructing, including, but not limited to, Nazi Germany. Its rise and its fall. Okay?
Hey, Rise.
Israel.
I just watched a very interesting video about Nero and just like narcissistic leaders and how more than not, they are the cause of the downfall of their nations just because they can't put the people in front of them. It's literally something that they cannot fathom.
Now, due to these last 12 months of endless, unlimited genocide, a complete pariah state, not only by the third world, the global south, the developing nations, which always saw it as a colonial apparatus, but also now the first world, Western nations and their populations, especially younger populations in the West, recognize the reality. They can see right from wrong. This creates a shit ton of pressure. Israel cannot maintain itself as a Western adjacent nation, as a tourism destination, as a destination for academics to go and visit, as long as it keeps up this level of unlimited violence. There is a material harm, a cost that Israel is incurring right now, okay? A debt to all the bloodshed, both on the social front, the social capital that it's expending, but also on the economic front. Think about your own personal attitude. Think about your own personal journey.
Look at the way Americans freak out at the cost of eggs going up. Could you imagine if they were dealing with just a fraction of the things that the people in Palestine are?
October 7, 2023. And how much your opinion has shifted.
Yep, and unfortunately, these cynical leaders are experts in finding those dividing lines and sticking a wedge in there, sticking a wedge in there. Yeah,
on this matter. Okay, maybe not every single person is going to be as clear-eyed on this issue and recognize, Israel as an apartheid state, but many people have the capacity to still see right from wrong. Mm-hmm. There's only so much Islamophobic sentiment that can justify the burned, charred bodies of children that you see on a daily fucking basis. Anyway, let's continue.
Over the years, more critical of just sort of like of Zionism per se. But the point is, I think we're at a point where it is so horrific that to maintain the denial, one needs to sort of like shift the entire conversation. I do not believe that Hasan is anti-Semitic. That has never
that's the
come
weird
up.
Thing too. Like
where does this?
I watch a lot of his streams, and if you're making those types of arguments, it has to be in bad faith or you're at least
Stop it.
It's like clip chimping, as he would say.
Oh my God!
No.
Oh, this guy is a terminally online person. You can tell.
I just never have witnessed anything even remotely like that.
Sorry, I mean, I'm not like trying to shit on that, but for real, like the way that he just said that, even where he's just like, oh, they're clip chimping. It's come on.
I haven't followed this close enough, but I don't know if it's in bad faith as much as it is, at least in the instance of Ethan, that it is very, very difficult for
Robin, based as hell. I called both my senators to support Bernie earlier today. That's awesome. I wish I could contribute to you.
Some people
that's awesome.
Who are attached to an idea or certain realities or have family there or whatnot to reconcile what they're seeing. Yeah. I mean, I know people who literally don't believe that anybody has died in Gaza. They think it's all fake.
I have one of those in my life.
I mean,
it's insane.
It's infuriating because I've experienced way more hostility and anti-Semitism from fellow Jews than Hasan, Morgan, or anyone who's been attacked this week. Yeah, I mean, because we're not anti-Semitic. Like, humans are intrinsically social beings. Civilization begins when we take care of the vulnerable, and it crumbles when we are violent. Fascism is anti-evolutionary, and progress and freedom is in our human spirit. I agree with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of denial, like we're in that that era, that phase of the epoch where like it is so hard to deny, even if you can justify.
I've said it a billion times, Hasan. If any point I felt that this chat's room status as one of the safest and best regulated places against anti-Semitism on the internet was in question, I would make it known or leave. I'm still fucking here. I see it. I view the anti-Semitism allegations, smears, not even allegations, the smears in the same vein as I view people saying that I'm transphobic. And sure, there are plenty of people who still maintain this belief that I am transphobic, right? Some trans people online probably think that I am transphobic. Right? This is one of the largest trans communities online. Mm-hmm. You know?
Arguably.
Yeah, it does not matter. It does not matter what people say. This does not change my...
Actually, both of these are, I would say MR and Hasan, they both have very active trans communities.
This does not change my analysis. This does not change my advocacy. I can't counter a false framing that you have hallucinated. That's it. It's a coordinated and targeted smear campaign that is being laundered via this drama. It's completely fucking selfish and bigoted. All of it is in bad faith and it's coming from a very specific corner of the internet. Yeah. I think the dominant American version of Jewish authenticity is deeply cornered into the Zionist paradigm, one where you have to hold your tie to exist in exile, but now in relation to an actually existing Israel. I don't know how to resolve the contradictions between this national existence and humanist Jewish values or what new Jewish authenticity would look like. I don't know if you can do that while retaining any national framework and what that means for Israeli Jews. I don't. What's the second part of that? Time without an OWO. I know you're not anti-Semitic, but with the right clips, I can understand why some things make some people uncomfortable. I think that's the problem with streaming 8 hours a day for 50 years.
Well, yeah, he's also he's partially a comedian. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff just in jest.
Everyone will understand you to the same degree.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but the benefit of that
when he speaks about this, he does it with sincerity, and he is an advocate. Like, I don't understand, like, the nitpicking on, like, if he makes, like, a little joke aside.
Of my streaming 8 hours a day for fucking 10 years, not 50, is that you can also find the actual context in which I'm saying certain things. No second part, I just don't know, is for American Jews to hold those discussions. Like, you will never be able to convince me that American Jews cannot arrive at this point if there are Jews in Israel who recognize it and are anti-Zionist, like Time Without an OO. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. I know what it's like to grow up in a fucking...
If we held the same standards to Ethan, then there's no contest.
Ultra-nationalist culture, an ultra-nationalist country. You know what I mean? I know what it's like. It takes a lot of fucking... It takes a lot of resistance, resilience, intellectual curiosity to overcome things that people take for fucking granted.
Hasan Piker is not a bigot, but Hank Becker, that guy is a monster.
One of the best things about America, I guess,
nice
one of the kind of weaknesses about American nationalism is that they're so hyper-focused on their treats that it's like much easier to fucking examine this kind of thing, especially when paired up with the lack of interest in creating or cultivating this like national mythos in the United States of America, because like we care more about capitalism and upholding that than we do about like having some ultra nationalist movement. Anyway.
That was interesting. Actually funny to that comment about Hank Pecker. My grandpa's name was Hank. And like, so when we used to get telemarketing calls, they used to just be like, is Mr. Pecker there? I don't know, like, how they would get that wrong, but it happened way more than once. So, yeah, it was kind of funny. All right, so, real quick, I have some background about what he was talking about with the Palestinian conflict here, because there is a comedian that expertly shot down a heckler who was just kind of spitting out the IDF talking points, and it's kind of weird. Like his set was almost structured like TED Talks on educating people about Palestine, and he just was throwing in, jokes. I'm used to it, like the way that pastors kind of speak to their congregation, where they put in jokes just to keep people engaged. The cool pastors. God, I had so many of those growing up. But this guy, like, that's kind of how he was approaching it. So just give me 1 second, and I'll bring it up here. All right, let's go.
If you agree with that? All right, guys, listen. Everybody stop. I don't use the word apartheid because nobody knows what it means. Very few people actually know what apartheid means, because if you actually...
Why is it comedians are always the ones that have like the most relevant social commentary?
Know what apartheid is, you would know that Israel's an apartheid state, because it fits the definition of apartheid. People get upset because they don't know what the definition of apartheid is. If South Africa says you're an apartheid, bro. If you don't know what apartheid is a system of racial segregation. And the reason why people deny that Israel's an apartheid state...
You can't really get any more basic than that description right there.
Because they say that, Arabs have equal rights in Israel, which first of all is not really true. They face a lot of systematic discrimination. But even if you took that at face value, you have to look on the other side of the wall. On the other side of the wall, there's Palestinians who have no rights. And those Palestinians are under occupation by Israel. So by definition, Israel is supposed to be providing them rights. And if they're not, it's an apartheid state. The easiest way...
Palestinians are threatening the safety of Jewish people.
Oh, okay. Nice to meet you. Okay. That's awesome. I'm so glad you came and sat in the front. Have you... This is like a gift.
It is for him.
This is like a gift. This is amazing. Did you come here to the show to have this moment?
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing. It was random.
Israel left Gaza.
Israel left... Okay, good, great. So let's go back to the joke I just did, right? Israel left Gaza in what year?
I don't know.
You don't know. Exactly. It was 2005.
The Palestinians or the Gazans there voted for Hamas.
I'm getting upset because you're in the front row. You know what I mean? It's just like,
See, you're in the front row.
Look at me. I don't have the game. I'm not a Palestinian. I'm not a Jew.
That's fine. That's fine. You just have to be a human being, right? You just have to be a human being.
Rise, the good ones normally have a good understanding of truth and irony. Oh, yeah. That's actually a good read on comedy.
Right?
Comics.
Right? Yes. Arabs have walked away. So you identify as a Zionist, right?
No, I try to be neutral.
You're not trying too hard.
It's always those types. All right. Now
you disagree that Israel's an apartheid state.
She's probably a
I
liberal.
don't know what apartheid.
You know what apartheid is? Okay, great. You just said you don't know what apartheid is, yet you interrupted me because you said that Israel is not an apartheid. So, oh, you didn't say that.
The balls. The balls
okay.
on this woman.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Ignorant, obviously ignorant, but nonetheless.
IDF propaganda.
Here,
I mean, she's just repeating the IDF stuff.
October 7th. Guys.
Yeah.
Relax. Trust me, this makes for a better show.
Yeah. Oh,
That's all those things you said in my bits. But here's the point. I was up here saying that Israel's an apartheid state, and you interrupted saying something that is irrelevant to the fact that Israel's an apartheid state. Okay? If you want to build a wall for whatever reason, if you think it's for your safety concerns, that's fine. You build a wall, and you want to occupy the neighboring region, do that. It's illegal by international law, but if you do that, just know they're under your jurisdiction, and by law, because they're under your jurisdiction, it's an apartheid state because they don't have rights. So now you know that. Take that part home. We'll cover the rest in a minute. Okay? For people who don't know what apartheid is, let me explain it to you. If I were to go visit my family in the West Bank, and we wanted to go to where my grandma was born and raised, inside Israel, she came from a city called Jaffa, we would have to cross through military checkpoints. Me, an American city, I'm the whole city. An American citizen would have to go through military checkpoints where literally machine guns above our head, like with surveillance, doing like humiliating things like strip searching us as we go, just to go inside and visit family, which, you know, obviously you would say is for reasons of safety, whatever. I have to go through that even as an American city. Even as an American city.
He did it again.
I am the city of San Diego.
That was subconscious at that point. It had
to be. Okay. But that's the point. Like, even if I took this whole city with me, we would have to go through the military checkpoints.
All right, just as a side, I just noticed this, like that. I've worked in some interesting comedy clubs. That is the most interesting backdrop I've ever seen in a comedy club.
And we're coming
it almost
from
looks
the
like
West Bank, which is
wonder if that
Israeli
is a coffee shop comedy club.
So it's under Israeli
I've seen those before.
But yet we don't have the same rights that Israeli citizens inside of Israel have. I would just want to go and visit the land that my grandma grew up on. And now I didn't grow up on it, but she grew up on it.
This is a great way of explaining this.
So I feel connected to it. It's a part tied to me.
That's a good way of selling it.
She got it. You got it. Okay. See, this is fun.
We have fun here.
Okay. I perform for people who agree with what I'm saying, and I perform for a lot of people who don't. I tour everywhere. I get a lot of heat for the things that I say, but most of it's online, so I feel safe. One guy DM'd me, he's like, Sammy, does your tour fund Hamas? And I was like, first of all, how did you know? Secondly, no, I'm not involved with the transferring of money to Hamas. That's more of Netanyahu's thing.
Good comeback. Good one. Oh, I just saw this comment. The good ones usually use satire. Their humor doesn't kick down. Yeah, I for the most part agree with that, but there are times that I guess punching down. It depends on how you define punching down.
Ask me questions about Hamas like I know them personally. Like I hit them up after the show. I'm like, yeah, boys, it went well. Yeah. They received the message. I'll call you later. I don't know Hamas. None of y'all ever seen a Hamas. Okay? They out there.
They received the message.
Kind of their brand, you know? People ask me my opinion on, they want to know a Palestinian's opinion on Hamas. It's like, why do you care about opinion? Why don't you just ask what they are objectively? And I'll tell you that. Hamas is a resistance group from Palestine. One of many, many resistance groups from Palestine because Palestine has been under occupation for decades. And that leads to the formation of resistance groups. It's not unique to Palestine. It happens everywhere. But there's a reason why you know about Hamas. Because Hamas was chosen. It was Netanyahu's favorite. Netanyahu allowed cash infusions to flow into Hamas from Qatar in order to make the two-state solution impossible. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is soundbited on the internet. The Israeli regime under Netanyahu has this love.
Just another real quick observation. They actually have a on-stage bouncer. That's very rare in comedy clubs.
Hate relationship with Hamas because it's their proposed enemy, but they built it up. And they even came up with a pet name for it. They call it Hamas for some reason. We don't know. Arabs, this perplexes us because we have the Kha sound too, but it's not in that word, so we don't know where it came from. They let this money flow into Hamas. They call it Hamas. So we're like, where did the K come from? They paid for it, apparently. The problem is the mainstream media was able to push this narrative onto people.
Hold on. George Carlin explained that good comedy punches up. Comedy has been ruined largely by capitalism. Joe Rogan is king now. I mean, unfortunately, yes, and as far as podcasting goes, but it's kind of weird. Comedy, I can't say who is like the king of comedy, but Bert Kreischer, he outsells Rogan.
Like you and I, that the people of Gaza, for some reason, are complicit in what's going on. That for some reason they deserve what's happening to them because they, quote, like you said, they voted for Hamas. Let's unpack that statement. They voted for Hamas. All of them, even the babies, crawled out to the polls, scribbled in Hamas, got their little green lollipop and went home. Half of Gaza's population is under 18. Okay? So, because of a high birth rate, yes, this is partially true, because of a high birth rate, also because refugees have been pushed out from other parts.
Duke of Bread, yes, I watched Kill Tony.
Of the region into Gaza. That's why
I wasn't surprised by his humor at the Trump thing.
Some people often say it's only one or the other. It's actually both. Palestinians.
I'm very familiar with all those comedians.
Survival. If you don't believe me, look up Gaza birth rate. It is high. They voted for Hamas. Half of the population is under 18, which is already a minority of people. You already know that less than 50% of them voted. So it's like extremely inhumane to say they voted for Hamas, this is what they want, when half of the population isn't even of voting age now. Okay?
Man, he is building a great case here.
It was one election, and it was in 2006. Do you remember who you voted for in 2006? No, because it was a midterm year. Nobody gives a right? Nobody remembers who was on the ballot in 2006. And so let's unpack this trope even more, because if you look at the statistic, half of the population isn't even of voting age now, meaning like 75% of the population wasn't even voting age then. And then within that 25% of the population, 40% of the people who showed up to vote that day voted for Hamas. That's of the people who showed up. Let's say 80% of the voting population showed up. So that's 20% of the total population now, and 40%. What's 40% of 20%?
I don't know.
Come on, you may not be on the side. You gotta be on the side.
I'm not
of
good
math,
at
right?
On this.
It's 8%.
We're not good at math.
Most 8%
so you guys need to make up for me my shortcomings here.
So do you understand how up it is to say they voted for Hamas when literally it was just 8% who voted for Hamas? Yeah. Right? Let's think about that. It's racist, right? Why is it?
It's bad math.
It's bad math, correctly. I mean, yeah, like
it's racist bad math, but you need to right? For that one, when he just said that it's racist, because she just literally heard, he thinks I'm a racist. No, that's for him to say it's racist language. Sorry, you don't want to make her feel like she's actually being pretty fair and receptive to this.
Like, think about racist tropes.
I mean, as far as hecklers go, she's definitely not the worst heckler I've ever seen
in the United States. What's a racist trope? You want to give me one? You're good at them, so you want to give me one? And it's a comedy show. We're all very accepting. We know that you don't actually feel that way, but just give us one that we've heard before. Or who wants to give me one? Who wants to give me one?
Women of color are all on welfare.
To go out there and say that women of color are all on welfare, when if it was only 8% of them, still, a lot. I'm sure it's not that much, but that would be fucked up to say that. So, what's that? Who? Where are you from, by the way?
APAC. San Diego.
APAC. Nice drop in from the crowd. APAC.
That's a lot to unpack. Okay. You're
Well
from San Diego.
played.
That's fine. I identify as mainstream American too. Honestly, like I'm not like a full left or right. I like to see. What's that?
I bet you are left.
You bet I'm left? Why would you think that I'm left?
What is it?
I have 17 guns at home. Okay? That's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. I didn't vote for Hamas, but I have 17 guns at home. That's funny. She's like, you look like a lib because you care. No, you don't know my views. I'm actually a very balanced perspective, but I do know facts and I do like math. So that dictates the things that I do say. And when I don't know shit about it, I shut up. Kind of a good rule to follow in general.
Yeah.
But
I shut the fuck up and then ask questions.
They voted for mass is messed up. You at least agree with that part now based on the math, or you still fit?
All elections are based on who turns out, right? Every election.
Yes, perfect. This is exactly where I'm going to go next. Okay, so listen. Can you imagine being held accountable for somebody you voted for years ago? Let's think about this, okay? The first time, yeah, exactly. This poor man. This poor.
He's literally like having an existential crisis. He's like, but.
This guy voted for Ted Cruz one time.
Voted for George Bush once.
He's done some damage to the fabric of our democracy, but he's still a good guy, and he's working on it. Can you imagine being held accountable? I'll tell you, the first time I was allowed to vote in the general election was 2004. I'm an old man. 2004 was the first time they let me at the polls. Boy, was I ready.
He's like a year older than me.
Who we got? Oh, man, 2004.
John Kerry.
We have the honor of being able to vote for two stellar options.
Yeah. George Bush.
Mr. John F. Kerry.
Yep.
Yeah, you heard me correct. Kerry, not Kennedy, okay? Mm-hmm. John F. Kerry. My best impression of him is moi. Gen Z, if I showed you a picture of John F. Kerry, you'd be like, who is that car salesman? I have no idea who that guy is. Does he replace AC units? What does he do? John F. Kerry was the Democratic candidate of 2004, and it was him up against the one, the only, the irreplaceable George W. Bush. Okay? Yeah. It was literally the worst election aside from all the ones that came after it. It was really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I got out of high school and thought I'm just like, it can't get any worse than this.
Elections are. You never get good options. You get the options who make you want to vomit the least. You know what I mean? You pick who makes you vomit the least. And if you get juiced for a candidate, there's something wrong with you. I'm sorry. Politicians are wired to, in some shape or form, manipulate.
Except for Bernie. Bernie's okay.
You and lie you, even the good ones. So if you get excited about a politician, I'm happy for you, but go to a therapist. Now that was who was on the ballot in 2004, okay? But America, like you're right, it's about who the population.
John Kerry was the second worst Democratic choice that year.
Don't look it up.
The 13 worst choice was Lieberman. Yeah, you are right about that.
We saw those options, all the options in 2004, and collectively we came together and we did the right thing. We said enough is enough. 4 more years of the W. We saw the economy tanking, heading towards a recession rapidly. We saw war in the Middle East. We saw, 9/11. We're like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Just 4 more years.
Gas prices in like 2005 spiked to almost $5 a gallon.
For him a second time. Well, technically a first. But we wanted 8 years of back-to-back Bush. Now, I don't know if you know about...
Wait, wasn't Howard Dean the guy that went... Yeah. Ruined his political career.
He did not do great. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it, right?
Bad. If you don't know about the bad things that W did, make some friends from Iraq. Okay.
Yeah.
They will make it very clear to you. Be ready for some cursing, okay? Because he messed up Iraq for real, man. Like people from Iraq, they hate the W. They hate his dad. They hate the whole Bush dynasty. Okay. They've even banned bushes in their yards. Okay. It's only trees and grass in Iraq, no bushes, okay? They're all clean shaven down there. They hate the Bush. Can you imagine? I know this is tough for a mainstream American, but can you imagine that Iraq somehow got the capability to invade America? Perhaps with the help of a local proxy. I won't name any names. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I ran from that option. Let's say They got together the military capability, but they could only afford to invade one state. So they choose Wisconsin. Okay? Yeah. So they touch down in Wisconsin, start bombing indiscriminately, cheese everywhere. Okay? They're blocking aid via Lake Michigan, no deep dish getting in.
Hey, watch it.
Right? And they're just targeting poor, innocent Wisconsinians. Like, oh my gosh, golly, like everywhere you go.
Oh, jeez. Look at that, guys.
And I happen to be in Kenosha, Wisconsin that night with my shit luck. I'm performing at the Chuckle House Kenosha, the nation's worst comedy club.
That is
at the worst time. And the Iraqis
not a great one.
Invade, and I'm no hero. I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna defend you. Okay? I'm gonna go home to my 17 guns. I'm gonna run from the Iraqis. I'm gonna run down an alleyway, and they're gonna chase me. And I'm gonna run, and I'm gonna run, until I hit a dead end. And I'm just gonna have to turn and face them. And when I have to turn and face them, all I'm gonna be able to say is, why? Why? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you wreaking this carnage on me and all of my people? We did not do anything to you. Why are you doing this to us? And then they're just like, because you voted for George W. Bush in 2004. Like, what the Bush? Like, you're still thinking about that? And I'm like, no, I didn't vote for George W. Bush. I voted for independent candidate Ralph Nader. And they're like, yes, but everybody knows a vote for Nader is a vote for Bush. Like, come on, man.
People said that. All right,
and
that's funny.
Further proof that no matter where it is, the two-party system sucks ass.
Yep.
You are literally spitting out straight-up AIPAC talking points. You don't think so?
She is. I think she's making a lot of really good ones.
Whoa. Apparently they come in a pack.
Not all introduced talking points.
I agree.
Yes. There are also talking points. I appreciate she has the courage to speak up.
Yeah.
It's very complicated and it shouldn't be minimized and patronized to people that are really struggling with the important issues that you're taking. Exactly.
I think we all agree on that. I think we all 100% agree.
That, he actually kind of spoke to what he's
that's true as
saying.
well. But this is what I don't understand. See, sir, this is why I'm talking, because
Chased all over the planet. I mean, you do realize that it's only like a day walk, right?
You agree with that? The Arabs and Muslims are atrocious. You agree with that part? All right.
Oh my God. Okay, I hate people like that. Get out! Get her out of here!
Listen.
Please.
No. Everybody stop.
That's not okay.
Quiet. This is my show.
Yeah, and it's making for great content.
Listen, first of all, I respect you guys for coming to the show and sitting in the front row. Obviously, you don't agree with the things I'm saying. That's fine. I don't. Yeah.
I'm actually pro-Palestine.
Do you Hey, well, nice to meet you. Okay, so you brought her to kind of to get a little like a different.
But she's still my friend.
That's awesome. Okay, hey, well, you find out a lot about your friends when you come to the comedy show, right? Yeah. We learn things that we never knew, you know. Okay. You have to understand, okay? We don't have to agree on everything. The reason why I made an issue about it is because when you heckle or when you say something in the middle of the joke, it becomes different jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were just having a conversation on the street and it's like, I don't know you, you don't know me, it's like, obviously we're not gonna agree on the same things, you know what I mean? But I'm in the middle of like constructing and building a narrative and it's interrupted with a counterpoint, which is fair, which is fine, but not at the comedy show, right? We can do it in a DM exchange, we can do it for that reason.
Yeah, but this made for, I mean,
show,
dude,
it
this
is
has
under my jurisdiction. You could say that
has
you
over
are all
2
under my
million hits.
And as an occupier,
there it is. Yeah.
it is my duty, specified under international law, to take care of you. Okay? And so that's why, with love, I say all of these things, because I think you're great. I think that you do strive for balance, and I think that you do want to see the nuance and look at the perspective. But I think that you also were saying a lot of things that people here who know a lot about the situation and are clearly biased towards Palestine have heard these sound bites used perpetually to defend the stripping of human rights of an entire population of people.
I mean, he wasn't wrong about them being talking points. Like,
please, I speak what I think is justice. Everybody has their own opinion of justice. I speak on what I think is justice. By the way, don't call me a social justice warrior. Please, don't call me a social justice warrior. I prefer social justice jihadi. It's fitting because I tend to take myself out of the process. I have sacrificed my show. What? It's hard being a social justice jihadi. You only get one shot.
all right. That was a pretty solid joke at the end there. See, now that's how you teach people about conflict in Palestine. I mean, honestly, he should consider himself lucky that she was engaged as she was, and also engaging with him. Because, man, like, you got a really rare opportunity there, and he took it. I got to give him the credit there. All right, so let's read some of the comments. All right, Putin's puppy, your name. John Kerry was the second worst Democratic choice that year of the 13. The worst choice was Lieberman. Yeah, I did agree with that. Gephardt was the best option for winning that year, but Dean, yeah, okay, so I did read your comments on that one. Yeah, because Howard Dean, I can't believe that they just, he got excited and he just went, ah! And then they were just like, nah, dude, sorry, it's fucking weird. Kucinich was cool, but did not have a chance in hell of winning. Yeah, I agree with that. Rise. I feel the third-party candidates really need to focus on a couple of winnable states, because having a couple of independent senators would be massive. Absolutely. Okay, so this is why I do like kind of go hard on Jill Stein, because Jill Stein is actually a detriment to building that coalition, because like when you look at what she did, as far as like making this money for this recount in 2016, she totally squandered it. She didn't try to build any momentum behind any other politicians besides herself, and that kind of showed me, I'm like, she's so selfish, and that's my problem with her. Jill Stein is just, she's useless and selfish, like, as far as a third party candidate, and like she keeps showing up in that position, never trying to actually, again, build the coalition behind her, or do like local gunning for the local elections and funding the local elections. Like, she just doesn't do that, so it's always pissed me off. Excuse me. Putin's puppy, the full quote is atrocious to women's rights, not just atrocious. Yeah. Wait, are we talking? Oh, because, yeah, okay. I just thought back to what you were saying. All right. Rise to finish off on her last point, or on their last point, or at least get a large amount of the vote in those states that make the two parties fearful. Yeah. Yeah, she at least got it. Okay. Putin's puppy. The yell doomed his career. It's just, why? It was just, what the, Is my career doomed, guys? I'm never gonna make it on this YouTube thing. I just did a weird yell. Oh no. Robin B in response to Rise. Agree about the focus of the third party. Start small, build up. Yeah. No, see, you're not wrong. You're like, this is where we were kind of focusing on that in the early aughts and like the mid-teens, because yeah, that was the idea with like a bunch of progressive candidates. But then somehow we all got lumped into either a libertarian stance or a libertarian party position where we had to vote or run on a libertarian ballot, or you had to run with the Green Party. So, I mean, look at Gary Johnson. So it's always been kind of messed up on that one. But I cannot agree more that if we took that money and put it in to like more local races, yeah, then we could totally take the Green Party for ourselves, I guess. But as I said, as far as third parties are concerned, I think, honestly, if we just kind of push the corporatists into their own purple party, and it's like blue and red all of a sudden are now just the most extreme versions of themselves. But, you know, that's an opportunity for us. I'm just saying. Rise Coalition just was what I was about to say. Third parties could form a broader coalition. Okay, yeah. Rise, the SNP were a fringe party in Scotland and have now been in government for 17 years. Yeah, but that, so like, we were just talking about James Corbyn, Jimmy Corbyn, getting pushed out of the Labour Party today. So, not sure how that affected you, because I'll be honest, I don't know how British and UK politics work. I'm assuming you guys... So is it kind of like... I really am ignorant on this one because of like Brexit and all that. So do you guys have like... Do you vote in like the UK Parliament? Do you have a position in the UK Parliament? Or do you have your own Parliament that then... Yeah, if you wouldn't mind explaining that in like the simplest way you possibly can. I know it's kind of a tall task. But... seems like the best position to get this information is from somebody that actually lives there. Putin's puppy. We need a ranked choice for president. You know what? I'm 100% for ranked choice. I think ranked choice is great. Funny enough, one of my friends lives in Alaska, Republican, and like as hard as the conservative as you can. Actually, even calling him a friend right now is kind of a... Because unfortunately, he did that thing where he's like, "Oh, you're a liberal? I can't be your friend." So, you know, that's also why when people were like, "Oh, I've just unfriended all my Trump supporters," it's just like, God, man, the fact that you guys give politicians all this power to dictate who's in your life is so weird. Okay, so got an update here. Rise. Jeremy Corbyn, yes, he was treated terribly. I generally support the SNP in the Scottish elections and British elections. Not a massive fan of Labour, even though Corbyn was a good guy. Bloodstone by Mars. People need to make noise with the local elections once the blue and red parties are seen as options and not as the status quo. We'll see more independence in Congress. Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but unfortunately, it's like what happened in Nevada. You know, you kind of got squashed there. You know, Bernie Sanders being in Vermont, like that's the only reason he's even able to be an independent. I mean, look at how it, like Sinema, she only went to independent after she knew that she was cooked. It was the same as Joe Manchin. I don't know. I think Bernie had the smartest way there to caucus with the Dems. As much as like that pissed a lot of people off, including the Democratic Party, I think that it was a smart move. I really do. Because he understands that the people, like, not necessarily the corporate entities within the Democratic Party are who he was trying to court. That's why his grassroots movement was so powerful, and that's also why he was kind of bringing it back to like Democratic classic, you know, FDR phase Democrats. Okay, so people need it, yeah. Rise. They're the British Parliament and also devolve Parliament of Scotland. Okay, so do you guys vote in the UK Parliament, and like, do you guys get, you know, a say, or do they kind of treat you like the way that we treat states? I guess that's more what I was asking, is like, do they kind of treat like a state? Bloodstone by Mars, independent and third parties in general, I mean, yeah. I think that honestly, if you're focusing on just like what the letter is next to the candidate, that is part of the problem. We need to be focusing on getting progressive candidates within the Democratic caucus. I think that would be the smartest move. And, you know, you gotta, as much as you want to placate to like the progressives, like the ultra hyper progressive circles like ourselves, I would say, excuse me, I think that, you know, they can do it a little bit more low key. Jesse Ventura is a really, again, I love the man and I know I'm a little biased, but for real, he was the way you do that. But then again, he did it as an independent, so that's the only thing that flies in the face of my argument there. But recently, he did caucus with the Dems as well, because he also, it's not lesser of two evils even. He did see it as like, no, that's who we could work with to build our future that we want to see. But Robin B, I always look into third party in the local elections and vote for them. Town board, school board, college boards. For the most part, I actually have done that. I mean, I wasn't proud of it, but I voted for a libertarian candidate this cycle just because it was between that or a straight up, Republican candidate who was also the incumbent. So, like, instead of voting down ballot, like if there's any measures to get somebody out of office or referendums on that stuff, I always vote no. You don't get to stay. We need somebody else. Get the hell out. Swap it out, change it up. Right. Similarly, we send about 70 odd MPs to MPs to Westminster. Okay. Rise. And then we have a PR system in Scotland, which allows a broader political spectrum. Okay. So, Rise, if you don't mind me asking, are you a fan of your political system and specifically the party that's in control right now? And if you had to, would you describe them as like progressive or, more conservative leaning? Learning about Scottish politics, guys. This is fun. I'm actually interested in, the broader politics of the world too. Michael Brooks. I always shout out Michael Brooks because he's the one who got me really involved in reading about Brazilian politics. Putin's puppy. You have to vote in Democratic primaries if you want the Democrats to move to your direction. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think Bernie did it in 2016 the way he did it. And honestly, I was a registered independent up until that point because I did not vote in the Democratic primaries. Literally up until 2016, I really didn't care. Well, there wasn't even a primary for Obama too, so what am I talking about? Was there? I kind of feel like there was, or was it just like the Mitt Romney cycle? God, my elections have made my brain mush. I barely remember the McCain one. Okay, so here we go. Rise. Well, I voted for independence in Scotland independence for Scotland in 2014. The SNP are basically what the Labour Party should be. They're mostly social democrats, although there is an odd centrist who they're mainly for independence. Okay. I mean, if that's the worst in your party right now, I'm sorry, but maybe just kind of let that one go. I don't know. I'm a big fan of pick your battles. I apply that relationship advice to Scotland hasn't voted conservative since 1955. Based. All right. Fucking moving to Scotland. Actually, I just went to a friend's wedding where it was a Scottish observance. They wore the kilts and all that. I actually looked into it. Actually, I had one that was like an Irish. It was Irish Scottish. I don't know. Funny enough, my heritage is actually from like that region. So, all right. Robin B, I hope that we have more progressive candidates, get experience, and then go on. They join the Dems, that's okay. They will. Like Mallory McMorrow in Michigan. I don't know who that is, but I was about to say AOC. AOC was my example for that one. She's the one that honestly is doing it, where it's like she hasn't really compromised on her positions, but she does work within the system. So, excuse me, man. All right, and yet we get conservative Westminster government, hence the need for independence. Okay, so with that though, like, so how does that affect you guys? Because, all right, so for instance, here in the United States, specifically like in my situation where I live in Illinois, I live in a blue state. You know, I'm not as worried like about the like once they go into federal bans and stuff like that. That's where it's really like I'm not freaking out as much, because what's happening with that is like it flies in the face of Donald Trump's states' rights arguments. So howdy Fire Fist. Also taken out of Europe against our will. Yeah. Wait, wasn't that the whole like Braveheart thing? Well, I mean, I know that was like clans, but Scotland voted remain in the EU referendum overwhelmingly. Yeah, Firefist, we're talking about Scottish politics right now. I think you'll actually be interested in this. Rise is our friend from Scotland and schooling us. I did not know that Scotland was has not been conservative since 1955. That is awesome. Also, just what a good year. I mean, I'm a Back to the Future fan, so every time I think of 1955. 1955, great Scott. I remember that Scotland didn't vote to leave. Man. Alrighty. I just realized I left the segment going. Alrighty. Well, you know what? I'll just bumper that one. Alrighty. But yeah, that's so. Wait, did you get to vote as a citizen against Brexit then? Or like in the Brexit vote? Or how did, man, I really trying to educate myself in real time and with you guys, but I'm just realizing I'm like, wow, I know very, very little about British Parliament. I've been there though. I have been to the Parliament building in London. So. Beautiful place. Rise, the difference with the states is that you guys have multiple states who are like-minded, whereas we are a country of around 5.5 million, whereas England is 55 odd million, so our will and politics are sidelined. Yes, I've voted to remain. Is Brexit doing what like the far, like, I don't want to call it the far left, but you know, the reactionaries at the time were saying it was going to do? Because I remember that they were going pretty hard on it, and like Boris Johnson and talking about how he just doesn't understand what it was going to do to the economy and the like the pound, like the British pound. Actually, yeah, what is the trade on the British pound right now? Because when I went, it was almost dead on. It was actually like it was more expensive as far as like when I did my what do you call it, exchange. Duke of Bread, is this royalty-free jazz music? I feel like you're seducing me with the sex. Yes, it is royalty-free. It is a lo-fi compilation that I put together because even though like I use Spotify, and so like you can go on Spotify and just look up copyright-free lo-fi or whatever genre you're looking for, but don't always trust it, because I'm telling you, like I've gotten flagged a few times. Actually, you just reminded me. What I have to do is I got to reset it. There we go. Because yeah, what happened is my stream went a little long. I have this set for about 4 hours. It hit a copyright or a copywritten lo-fi song. So when it was £2 to $1, yep, Yeah, no, Fire Fist. I think that's pretty much what it was, because I was about 18 years old. I was like 18. I was 18, yeah, I think. It had to be. Yeah, but God, that was a while ago. 20, oh my God, that was almost 20 years ago, guys. that just hit me. That was fun though. I went to we landed in London, then we went to France and the Netherlands, back to France. It was a really good trip. Also been to all over America. Robin B, didn't Brexit damage the economy like the whole economy of the UK? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I thought that overall, like, they had a harder time recovering from the pandemic because of post-Brexit complications, but specifically with the interest rates. Also, wait, that couldn't have affected trade that horribly, did it? Because it was just like backed by the pound, I thought. So wait a minute. Yeah, what is it like? Because I kind of barely understand how our Federal Reserve works. All I know is that we used to do it based on gold and actual, like, substance that we, the weight to the substance that of the gold. But now we're just like, oh, we're going to just keep printing money, but then just say that has value. And then you guys just go, yeah, that has value. And then we just all agree it has value. So I'm very confused about that. This is why I really don't play the stock market as much, even though I have come to terms with the fact, like, I've studied up on it. It is just, if anybody ever tells you they know, like, yeah, I know exactly how this works, well, then you understand that this is a casino. All right, so what do we got? Yes, okay. It has been a disaster. Even the fervent Brexiters would admit it if they are being honest. Can you pinpoint exactly like what the main sector that was hit was? Because, like, for us, I can tell you, like, yeah, like metal prices went up, therefore, car prices went up, and agriculture also went up. So, didn't Brexit damage their economy like the whole US economy? Yes, it's been terrible for the economy. I read that. Right, Scotland has a huge amount of exports percentage-wise compared to England. Scottish whiskey, so it hit us hard. Oh, okay. I mean, you got a lot of farmland up there. Do you guys do a lot of agricultural trade? Because I don't know. I know that you guys have one of the best comedy festivals in Edinburgh, so I've wanted to check that out. I hate to admit that maybe I applied to go and feature there, but they did not choose me. I knew leaving EU would screw up trade. Yeah, Robin, you're right. Duke of Bread. Dollar holds value because we force other nations to use it to back their currency and trade oil with us. Yeah, hence we did this thing. We tricked them where it's just like, we're just going to print this monopoly money or this fake money, but we're going to require you to use it, and then it's essentially just taking your stuff and just being like, haha, see, you used our fake money, so now it'll all come crumbling down if you stop. Ha ha ha. Fooled you. Yeah. Rise. Also, we had a massive rebate from the EU. I think 250 billion a year that we just lost. Really? Okay, so did that get kicked back to the taxpayers? Like, because I know that, like, for us, we have tax referendums, and, like, I can speak for me and, like, my county one. So, like, we just had a county audit, and during that audit, they found that there were certain businesses within, like, our region that had taken a bunch of federal funding that they never used. Like, it was just sitting in this pot, and it was over like something like $200 million. So what they did is they just rebated it back to us, and each taxpayer got a rebate check for $2,500. But then my property taxes went up, little bit higher than that. Ugh. Yeah, Illinois is interesting. A lot of people would say that's why people are leaving Illinois. Well, it's a little more expensive to live in a state where you're so close, to the city. So, especially if you try to kind of pop out near the suburbs, it does get a little bit crazy. I mean, actually, fuck, like downtown, it is expensive to do anything. So, I don't know how you do it. Dollar holds. Okay. Fire Fist Ace. It has value because we are the Imperial Core. Yeah, you know what? We are the Imperial Core. That's for sure. God, we really are the Imperium from Dune. Oh my lord. Or Warhammer for my Warhammer nerds. Rise, making businesses that deal with Europe 10 times more complex, farming, fishing, and the NHS, basically everything. Is it true that the NHS is kind of being they're saying that it's there's an overbearing on it, and they're saying that it's not going to be able to sustain itself? Is that true? Because especially Americans who are anti Medicare for all, yeah, they are very, very big on using that one as a talking point. So the only positive for me is that it makes undeniable case for independence. Oh yeah, absolutely. Rise, you should come. I would love to. You know what? Yeah, if I'm ever out there, you're anywhere near Edinburgh. Is it Edinburgh or Edinburgh? I think it's the second one. Yeah. I know that you guys don't have legal weed there, but I do know you have it, because my friend who did go and go to the comedy festival, yeah, he found it. So that wasn't great, but he also said that he may do. He said that he actually found like one of these. Like he actually was able to get a cartridge out there. So I was shocked by that, because when I was in the UK, it was very hard, and I had a situation where I almost got mugged. So yeah, I was dumb, bruh. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, bruh. Yeah. Edinburgh. We were preparing ourselves with the bro stuff. Okay, cool. Thanks, Rice. Sweet. It's good to know people. See? Because no bullshit, man. When I went there, me and my mom, we went to dinner. We were in Piccadilly Circus, and we were at this an Italian place in Piccadilly Circus. A great dining choice from us. I found these two kids, and they were, smoking joints right outside. And I went out for a cigarette. I was like, hey guys, can you help me out with that? And oh boy, did they smell a fresh fish. They were just like, here. And to their credit, I don't think they were trying to get me robbed. I think that, because what happened is I'm double dumb. So they introduced me to this guy who's like, hey, I got this one guy. And he takes me to this like big, like Jamaican guy in Britain. Like he said he was Jamaican, but he definitely had like a thick British accent. But I don't know. He was wearing like, it's almost stupid to say, but he was wearing the hat. But he did this thing where like he charged me 60 pounds. I think it was like 40 pounds actually. And like they didn't have like a weight measurement, which I'm usually used to. So I was kind of like, how much is it? He's just like, it's 40 pound. I'm like, okay. And then I opened my wallet, and that's why I remember the 60, is because I had 60 pounds in there, because I got robbed for, fucking 20 pounds, whatever. So yeah, he takes out my money, and then he like pushes me back, and he's just like, and I'm like, hey, and then he just points to my hand, and he's like, this is the skunk. I'm like, okay. But then I look at it, and it's like tiny. It's like this, just actually, yeah, here, it's like the size of this. And I was like, what the hell? I was so mad, especially at that point. I just got in a fight with my mom, so I was like, I need something. So this guy, he saw what happened, and he's just like, hey, bro, you want to come with me? I'm like, sure. He's like, yeah, I got you. I'm like, okay. So he like leads me like down. I do remember like exactly where I was. So there's like this big sign that's very famous where it's like got the Pepsi logo and all that stuff. It's kind of like the Times Square sign. Like right across from that you got like the little roundabout, and it's literally on the other side of that roundabout, there's like this apartment block, and he takes me down this apartment block, and he kind of like takes me to the side because I saw like there was a group that he like nodded to, and he's like, I'll be right back. So he goes to these guys, and he grabs his backpack, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this totally on the up and up. This everything seemed normal, and then he pulls me like up, where he kind of just like tugs me. He's like, hey, come on. I'm like, okay, yeah, and like so we go through like this narrow door to an apartment on the side, and it was like the weirdest stairwell I've ever seen. Like, I'm used to like big American stairwells where it's just like so much echoey space, and like you can usually fit people going up and down. This one was like so narrow that you could only fit one person going up or one person going down. And then there's like this weird thing on the side where it was like it was one bathroom stall that had a sink on it. I was just like, huh, it was weird. Actually reminded me of like my middle school for some reason. And then he just turns around, and he's got like this little serrated bottle. It's like one of those like mini liquor bottles that you would get like in a hotel like liquor cabinet. And he just turns around, and he's like, suck my cock. And I was like, what is happening? Like, and my brain did that thing where I was just like, what the fuck? But I'm also like, I'm a flighty guy. I'm not sure if you know this. So I had a backpack, which this is also why I like, if I'm ever in a situation where I'm with somebody I don't trust, I'll always have my backpack on like with one sleeve, but like I have it like tied pretty tight on my one sleeve instead of having both tightened, because I want to use it essentially as a weapon. So that's what I did. Like I whipped my backpack like to my hand, and I just whipped it against his hand, and he just drops the thing like that. And as he drops it, I just ran out. But I also did something really stupid where as I ran out, I also think I have a fucking good natural sense of direction. Because like I just remember like we came in from the right, or we came in from the left, so like I had to go right. So I turn right, and I just run into the middle of like this like Piccadilly Circus, and I'm just like, oh shit, what do I do? And then I see him like running towards me, and I'm like, fuck. So I just ran like right to the center of the roundabout, and then I ran like towards where my mom was before. And I got lucky because there was like this weird like little sub parking garage underneath the restaurant that we were at. And there was a security guard, or well, actually at this point, I think it was a police officer who was with my mom, and they were looking for me. So I just ran up to him, and then I just turn around, see this guy, and he just stops, and he kind of gives me like the, you're fucking lucky. I was just like, huh. Didn't explain that full story to my mom. So if by chance she sees this, yeah, Mom, that's exactly that's what happened. I only told you part of it. So, but the funniest part is when I was so dejected, but I had the weed, or I had it, like the, you know what I mean? My non-illicit stuff, but I had it, and so I just put it in my pocket, which when the cop's talking to me, he's like, what were you trying to buy? I was just like, nothing, sir. I just kind of was like, Mom, we gotta go. So me and my mom were staying, like in the outskirts, well, not like the outskirts, but we're like maybe a few miles away from, if you know London, it's a few miles away from the Hard Rock Cafe there. I just remember for some reason that we were very close to that. And like, yeah, like pretty much everything proper. Like, Parliament was not that far away. Like you could like turn outside of our balcony. You'd like have to crank your neck, but it was just like Big Ben was there. But by no means was I like living it up. I was staying in a flat style hotel room with my mom that had a bathroom that was the shower, where it was like this little pod. It was crazy. But so I get back to that like pod, and my mom's like, I'm gonna stay down here and grab some tea, go on up. So I get back up to the room, and I'm so dejected. I'm so upset. And I forgot to preface this. My long-term girlfriend from that point, who I had you know, I kind of sensed that we were on the rocks, but I thought that I had solved it, and like things were great. I had just bought her a bunch of souvenirs. I was so happy. I had made a $50 phone call. It cost me, I remember exactly how much it cost me. It cost me $54 frickin' dollars, not pounds. And that was, yeah, I made that phone call just for her to break up with me. So like that's also why I wanted, you know, the release. I was a little pissed off. So, yeah, so I open it, and all of a sudden, like magic, it just breaks out from like the densest like little nug into just like this. If you know the weight measurement, it looked like an eighth, and I was like, oh, what? And then it kind of clicked with me where I'm like, oh, I did actually get my money's worth. Like it really hit me. I'm like, huh. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. I had just bought a nice little bowl there, too, that somehow I got past customs. I got it back home. Only for it to get taken by the cops. I was so pissed when I got raided. I'll talk about that later. But, yeah, it was funny because when my mom was walking up the stairs, apparently, she was like, what the fuck? She just opens the door. She's like, oh, I could smell that from downstairs. So I was like, oh no. She's like, Charlie, don't do that. No. But then I convinced her. I'm like, Mom, look at this pod bathroom. Come on. And she's just like, okay. Glad making a bathroom with your mom. Yeah, that was a crazy trip, man. That was crazy. Yeah, I had to be like 17, 18, but I do remember like getting my cigarettes there. The cigarettes were way better than in America. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I quit when I was 24, but I was definitely a smoker at that point. And yeah, I also could drink legally there. I loved the idea where it's like, yeah, if you over the bar, you could have a pint. I'm like, oh. Did that come with the Bloodstone by Mars $50 breakup? Did that come with the receipt? Yes, it did. Unfortunately, as a collect phone call receipt. I had you had to buy those cards, so like I had to buy a time card for it, and yes, I had 2 of them. And by the end of that one, I did have like I came back with a bunch of minutes on the other one because I thought I would need 2. So yeah, it was sad. But you know what? I'm not gonna go into like the lewd aspects of the story, but you know what? I had some fun in Paris. I'll just say that much. I had a great time. My mom took me to the Moulin Rouge, and if you don't know about the Moulin Rouge, it is on the red light district. So let your imagination have some fun with that one. But one of my favorite memories there was yeah, the Bloodstone by Mars. That was definitely one for the scrapbooks. Yeah, that was whew. Yeah, dude, thank you, Robin. Phone breakups are so cowardly. Thank you. And you know, yeah. And then get this shit. Years later, I had to like piece it together because right before all this happened, I made like a connection with my buddy who, you know, was really in music. He actually like did music for like Pixar movies and stuff. Like he's pretty big in the space. But I should have pieced it together. Like we went to coffee with him, and it just seemed like him and my girlfriend were a little chummy. And then all these years later, I just kind of asked him outright. I'm like, "Hey, did you sleep with her?" And he was just like, "Oh yeah." I was just like, "Cool, cool, whatever." Doesn't it's what 20 years later, I'm still like, eh, bitch, bitch. Rise coming for the Fringe would be a night and day experience from London. It's much smaller, but just packed with people from all over. Street performances, clubs close at 5. Kind of crazy. That sounds awesome. See, yeah, Chicago's a lot like that. You know what? I love where I live. Specifically for like music venues. Like I go to the Vic a lot, which is in oh my god. Am I blanking on the other one? It's not like I wasn't just there. Not the Arboretum. Oh my god. The Aragon. Thank you. The Aragon Ballroom. I don't know why I just said thank you to myself. But the Aragon... Yeah, I go to the Aragon a lot. It's in an area called Boys Town, which is very LGBT friendly. Which for my friend circle, that's very, very good. Yeah. Chicago's a great city. Very nice. Don't listen to the propaganda. The haters. You know, it's Chirac. It does. I mean, as long as you know where you're going and you have your head on a swivel a little bit. I mean, just I apply that logic to pretty much any big city. So, but I can't lie to you. I have been mugged twice. So there's also that. I don't know. I was mugged twice in New York too, though, and I only stayed there for like a week and a half. Mugged in Times Square, and then I got mugged in Soho. Which I remember telling my mom about the Soho one, and she was just like, but I'm not sure if you guys are seeing a pattern that I was a pretty dumb kid that had a mom that was pretty cool who let me go explore at an age that I really shouldn't have. So, learned some hard life lessons at a pretty young age. But I've also, I've had some really good experiences. Obviously, I've traveled the world and I've seen some things that a lot of people don't get to do, I got to speak to, most Americans, I guess. But, most Americans don't really get to leave the country. So, although my friend group is pretty well-traveled, as far as my circle is concerned. I would not use us as the outlier. But... yeah, I'm looking to go make a European vacation again here soon. Like, everybody's talking about going to Japan and stuff like that. I'm Robin B, your mom would let you free range. It's all good. Yeah, I was a free range kid. I used to ride my bike, not just from like town to town. There's one time that me and my buddy we have a long road that connects like a portion of one town that's about 40 miles long all the way to another town, and we did the whole thing on a bike. It was that was crazy, but we had to call his dad at like 11:30 to come and pick us up because we couldn't ride back, and he was pissed. He's like, "You're where?" It's kind of funny. Yes, free range kids, man. I think that's why I really do have an affinity for, things like Stranger Things. And like, I did have that life, the basement life. We didn't have the phone shit. We had a lot of video games though. So like, we had like the Stranger Things upbringing. But we also, instead of playing D&D, we were sitting there with our Nintendo and our Nintendo 64 and, playing Super Smash Brothers and Mario Party and all the greats. I had the Sega, I also had a friend that had a Sega Dreamcast, so God, we were the cool kids. Except I wasn't. I don't know. Especially at my school, I was not a cool kid. I was considered one of the weirdos. God, I just read your comment again, $50 breakup. Did that come with a receipt? I'm still seething about that one. All right. Bloodstone by Mars. I want that free range kid life, but as an adult. I don't know. In your 30s, when you make a little money, that's how it feels. And when you don't have kids, specifically. I mean, when people ask, I actually just had that asked of me too, like randomly. They're like, "Yeah, how do you not have like all the wrinkles and like your hair not graying?" And it's just like, I don't have kids. The only thing that's graying is this. Get this one little spot right here. Whatever. It's a little salt for my pepper. Whatever. I get to do that to pepper jokes, okay? Rise. It wouldn't be some swag if you came here either. Would be a top. Oh, really? Really? Hell yeah. I appreciate that. I was kind of wondering that. I mean, you don't know where it's grown. Like, I've been kind of bougie with my, my intake, because even before it became legal, I got it from out of state, so I knew the percentages, I knew where it came from, I knew that kind of stuff. That is the one thing that I totally overlooked when they made it legal, where I was just like, oh, I get to like literally curate my highs. That is cool, and I've been doing it ever since. I have pictures to prove the quality. At Rise. If you're not already in my Discord, check out my Discord. You know what? Here. I should probably just fucking do this. Can I just link it? Bear with me 1 second. I have pictures to prove the quality on the plant. Hey! Hey! All right, I got a few questions for you. So are you using, like, what kind of fertilizer are you using? Because, I have to, like, I swap from when I, like, go to 12-12, which I'm speaking, like, alien language, I know to other people, but it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off for a plant. And, yeah, if you swap the supplements. Also, I use a lot of CalMag, like calcium, magnesium for my plants. For some reason, yeah, I'm always low on calcium and magnesium. It's kind of crazy. All right, I need... All right, so... Invite people. That's not what I was looking for. Copy. There we go. Got it. Oh, shit. Just realized I can't post it to chat. Damn it. Give me a second. This is frustrating. Okay. There we go. Be prepared. I'm about to put the Discord link into the chat, and then what you guys can do is go to said Discord link and join my community, and yeah, then we can send each other fun little photos and memes and all that kind of fun stuff. And we can connect. Look at me. One of the cool kids now. Yeah. Alrighty, so we're going to be going into the next segment here. Just give me a second. Actually, you know what? Do we want to do news now or news? No, we'll do news at the end. I'm trying to do more of a experimental format today, because usually I start with news, but there's no reason to do that. Yeah, I just went right into it today. So. Also, yeah, when you guys go into the Discord, just type it into general, because then it will just pop up for me. And also, if you guys ever want to call into the show, this is where we'll be doing it. I'll also have a Skype link available too. So we do the comedian. All right, we're gonna check out some liberal stuff. I know. I just kind of want to see like what the more liberal side has to say about this, about like the whole election thing. So get their whole take on it. I or someone I know use a mixed lineup of Canna and BioBiz. He or me has been doing it for about 15 years. Wow, nice. I know this sounds weird, but on my laptop, got my desktop downstairs where I use Discord, but I will add it. No, that's not weird to me at all. I actually understand that a lot more than you think. I mean, hell, I would have... It's so weird, because even on Streamlabs, they give you the option to have multiple chats, but Discord's not one of them. It's very frustrating. All right. So just bear with me 1 second. I have to piss, like real bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the segment real fast, because I have seen the beginning of this one. So I'm just bear with it. I'll literally be back in about 2 minutes. So but look who it is. Sammy Seder. I seriously do like really appreciate this guy. He's really, really good. Also, before I go into this segment, I want to kind of finish my pot talk here. Yeah, so Rise, real quick, if you don't mind answering this, like spatial wise, like how much do you have to commit to it? Because for me, I can just be very open about it. I have a 4x6 tent, and then I have a 2x6 that I use alongside it for, you know, just making sure, just in case I have an oopsie, because I had an oopsie this year, which I will be talking more about this in the Discord. I kind of pushed it a little bit yesterday on stream, but I don't want to really talk about it too much. But yeah, there will I will have the ability to copy Sam Seder's Cedar Seeds idea. That's how I can put it. I know this sounds weird. Oh yeah, sorry. Why does that happen? It just popped up again. Like it literally, it like blacked out and then it popped up again like a new comment. That was really weird. I have a rule of thumb for every size so I can scale down or scale up. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. All right. Sorry, all right, so I'm going to call the Horn of Gondor, introduce this segment, and then I got to piss real quick, and you guys can just get the intro from Sammy, and then we're going to watch the rest of this together. So, all right, Gondor calls for aid. Sound the horns. Alrighty, well, Sam Seder had a pretty good fun half today, and he had on a pretty well-known commenter from the like leftist online sphere, who in his own right has become a pretty well-known Twitch streamer. I have to give him the credit that he deserves, and that would be Mike from PA. So if you know who Mike from PA is, I'm sorry. He can be kind of annoying. I hate to use this term because I think that it was one of the ones that was overused, but a shitlib. He does kind of come across as a bit shitlibby. So Sam Seder has, I think it's like once a year he will have him on to kind of discuss stuff, but this one just happened to be about what they were, you know, what they thought was the pinpoint reason for why the election went the way it did, and who we can just start placing the blame on. So it was kind of interesting to see, you know, their takes on this. So let's take a look at the interview.
Open it up yet, so I don't feel guilty. Want to welcome to the show. Do we have him?
Wait a minute,
Mike from PA, or from his show, The Central Committee. Mike, are you there? You have your own. You have your own scroll going there.
I have my own scroll. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's also because my streaming setup is
wow. He
under
does not look
right?
anything like I thought he
looked. It's sort of like how you very smoothly cover up the part of the room where the pile of.
Yeah, he's been one of the ones that would always just show up on like voice chat, or like if he showed up in a panel, he would have like his icon, and then he would let that just be his voice chat.
Of equipment is.
Well done.
Yeah.
So I was saying the
hey, welcome to the stream. Pop into
the before we went to the break,
chat if you want, and that have some fun with us.
You called into this show. I feel like maybe it was the day after the election, and said in 20.
Real quick, just gonna get this out of the way. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
16 that you had been canvassing and running some canvassers, and you were getting reports back during the day that like 25% of the people that you had knocked doors on to get out the vote were actually Trump voters, which was consistent with sort of like other parts that I had been reading about with Clinton, and their whole operation was to sort of algorithmically determine, with the help of the Google folks, where the voters were, and it turned out it did not work. And so there was a lot of get out the vote wasted, and not just wasted, like redirected in the wrong place. What's your sense of this time around? Was that one of? I mean, I think there were like half a dozen but-fors with Clinton. Had she maybe done been able to have volunteers go out there, more volunteers go out there, she might have won it. It was very, very close election, 40,000 votes over the course, or I should say 70,000 votes over the course of 3 states. Had she campaigned in Michigan and Wisconsin, maybe she would have won. Had the Comey letter not come out, maybe she would have won. I mean, there was a bunch of these things that could have impacted it, but didn't. What's your sense in terms of like Harris's loss?
Well, I have to say that I was one of the few people who was saying that Donald Trump was going to win this election and was going to win Pennsylvania for a while. And I think the main issue is that all of the trends that began really with Donald Trump have just continued. And the Democratic Party has kind of positioned itself in an electoral checkmate because basically elections are about math. One of the first things you learn as an activist or a candidate is that you have to find your win number, which is 50% of the vote plus one, right? What is your win number? What voters are you going to bring out and where so that you win your district or you win your, the state, et cetera. And the Democratic Party has kind of made these trades of we'll trade the Republicans 2 working class voters for 1 upper middle class voter. And unfortunately, they've run out of upper middle class white voters that they can win in the suburbs. In fact, the suburbs mostly fell off a little bit from 2020. But the trends with the working class, now it's spreading to other working class people outside of the white working class group are trending in that direction. And I think that's why it was so obvious to me. Maybe it's because I spent so much more time on the ground in places like, Northampton County that ended up flipping back to Trump. It was an Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump county. And like that is, and those counties, and because I've spoken to so many of those Pennsylvanians, former steel workers or their relatives from the Bethlehem steel plant that is still a ruin in Bethlehem 30 years later. It shouldn't be a surprise that the Democratic Party has continued to lose ground with those type of voters. And now it's spreading to,
And you were, that whole, for every blue collar worker we lose in Pittsburgh, we will gain in the, 2 in the Philly suburbs. Was almost a direct quote from Chuck Schumer in the run-up to that election in 2016. But my understanding is that for the most part, they did hit their win numbers. The problem is that Trump had higher win numbers.
That's actually a good point, Sam.
They, for the most part, they did hit their win numbers. They saw, an analysis that came out today, depressed voters in depressed numbers in Philly, in Detroit, and in Milwaukee, which is really sort of like what was problematic with Clinton as well. Those voters did not come out. So yeah, it was a problem without a doubt. And but here we are now. I guess
one of the things I want to say is I think the evidence was pretty clear she was in trouble for the whole time. And I think one of the things that I want to urge people to do is have a little bit more. We need to have sign of a reckoning, especially in the lib left or left wing media sphere, where a lot of people who came out with totally spurious claims about polling were kind of presented as oracles. For example, one thing that I saw was Atlas Intel, which is a polling firm that was the most accurate polling firm in 2020. It was kind of accused almost as being a QAnon level pollster or a fake pollster. And in 2024, they were also the most accurate pollster again. And that really served us poorly because this election, while it was decisive and that all the swing states swung to Trump, it wasn't unwinnable, and what we saw was that young people and people of color their turnout was depressed. It wasn't just that people swung towards Trump. I would say 1 in 10 people who voted that didn't show up, or voted for Trump, swung to Trump. About 90% of the people that are missing are people that just didn't show up. They swung to the couch.
Right. And so,
it's true.
What difference would it have made in your mind if there was a pollster? I don't know who Atlas is, but and to be honest,
that's a pretty big.
To be honest, I don't. In those days before the 2016 election, we had somebody on the show from Princeton who said 90. I can't say it.
99% chance of Hillary.
Whatever. Yeah, so I don't really hold much stock in it, and I also really don't believe. And I think there was a time where it was the case, where polls would impact voter behavior. But I don't think that's the case anymore.
I agree.
And so what difference does it really make in that context? And I'm getting I am saying that did you vote in Pennsylvania? Did you say you weren't going to vote?
Oh, no, I have a 100% voting record. I always vote.
Okay.
One thing that I would say is that I was staunchly opposed to Kamala Harris after her disastrous DNC speech. Full disclosure, for the first time in my life, I was like totally disillusioned. And I think one of those things is
I mean staunchly against.
I just thought that she
disastrous
was going to be a horrible person for the Democratic Party in the country, and that her defeat was inevitable because of her positions on Gaza, especially. You know, I have friends and family and that are of Middle Eastern descent, and you know, I always found it kind of odd that liberals would tell me to vote Kamala, but I won't tell an Arab person or a Muslim person to vote for her. And I don't want to get off on a tangent about Kamala Harris because she lost, and she lost for the reasons that I thought she might lose.
I'm just saying that. What do you think? I mean, you know, like I get that there, you know, pollsters who are wrong by, you know, a couple of points, but
the pollsters were right. The pollsters were right this election.
Oh, okay, pollsters that are right or wrong may have influence, but it seems to me that like voting has even more influence.
Oh, I agree with that 100%. 100%. I wish we had a Democratic primary, you know, so that well, I think that was the crisis. I think the crisis that we saw.
That crisis happened like a year and a half ago when Jill Biden and Hunter Biden basically said, you know,
stay in,
go. And that was it. I mean, that's how cloistered he was.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the things that I think we could see early, like your question about why do the polls matter? Well, I think the polls actually told us quite a lot. Like the evidence was pretty clear that young people and people of color, and I could pop this up on my screen real quick just so people can see it. You know, this is a poll that I did October 18th, and it showed that 64% of black voters were very interested in the election, and only 49% of 18 to 34-year-old voters. And it was very, 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 very obvious that that was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. You know, is that young people of color?
But I'm curious. So how does one respond to that poll at that point that makes a difference? Like, what are your options are on the table at that point?
Well, October 18th is pretty late. I think if she had come out and run a more bold campaign.
No, I'm not talking about what she had done. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that, you know, not only like the first order impact of her not breaking from Biden on Gaza, the second order impact that it depresses activists. And, you know, that was clear under, you know, when Biden was the candidate. I mean, I think there were other things that they did wrong. Like they should have kept doing the weird thing because it was the only way to sort of like make it harder for the Republicans to define her positions and to make the. But I'm saying,
Robin B., I saw both the Harris. That I think he meant that. I think I saw both the Harris loves Israel. Sorry, that is hard to. And Harris loves Gaza protesters ads. Because I travel between Dearborn and you're talking about the ads. Okay, yeah, okay.
Us. Like us.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the commentators? Poll. You mean commentators?
No, commentators or listeners. We see that poll.
You know what? I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, we haven't even I'm in a deep blue area, so I didn't see a single one of those ads until like it was in the new leftist cycle.
Well, October 12th. What's the best thing for us to do in that situation?
Oh, man, gosh, I guess to raise our voices and hope that she'll change. I mean, like, you know, I think at that point it's so late. It's sort of like one of those things is somebody took a gut shot, you know, because they didn't want to wear body armor. And, you know, you're asking me what's the best triage I could do at the last second. And the answer is, well, in the future, wear the body armor. Yeah, like, you know, you're bleeding out. There's nothing we can do to rescue you at that point.
You know, that's a good point.
In that case, it's like completely unactionable.
And from our point of view, yeah, like, can we lift millions of people off the couch by saying you got to vote for Kamala Harris no matter what she supports? Well, like, I don't think we can. I don't think we have that ability.
I don't know if we could lift millions of people. Do you think we could lift one?
Yeah. Not enough to swing any of these, especially, like, I'll give you an example. Like in
Michigan. What's more likely? Looking at that poll in October and getting Kamala Harris's campaign to change, when in fact, like, I mean, the problem obviously was like without the process of a primary, both it has implications both for the candidate and for the voting population, right? And I mean, I'm just curious at that point in terms of like, you know, you see that poll in terms of like where we're situated. What's the best reaction in terms of the most, in terms of efficacy? Like, I think it's pretty clear. Maybe at that point, like there's maybe no winning, but let's just assume like, you know, you got a month. I'm just curious as to like what becomes the most sort of valuable response to that.
I don't think you're going to like my answer, which is basically telling Kamala Harris that you will not support her unless she changes on these issues that are severely damaging her campaign, and you use your voice.
All right, real quick, guys. I linked my Discord in my general description on my channel if you guys can't find it in the chat log.
As kind of a a proxy for all the millions of people that you see that are not going to turn out. And maybe if she turns, it might be too late to turn the Titanic at that point because it's steaming full speed ahead at the iceberg. But that's what I tried to do. You know, I was always open and like said, hey, I want to support Kamala Harris if she will break with Biden on Gaza, especially if she'll offer a couple platform positions that progressives can sell. I'm easy. My standards are extremely low. But she instead leaned into I would do nothing differently. Joe Biden was a great president.
I know what she did. I mean,
you're asking me how
It was so weird. At the beginning of her campaign, she's like, I'm not Joe Biden. And then all of a sudden, at the very end of her campaign, she's just like, more of what the Biden policies. I am essentially Joe Biden. Like, it was the weirdest swap.
Heard the Titanic from, from the violin chair. And it's like, you can't. Like, all I can do is raise my voice and say, hey, iceberg ahead. And that's what I did.
Well, you're not just saying iceberg ahead, because I think saying iceberg ahead is not the only thing. I mean, it may have no impact to run to the starboard side of the boat and help the boat turn.
Right.
Whatever the starboard. I don't know the two sides. Let's just say it may help the boat avoid the iceberg by running to the left side. And maybe more people do that. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But I don't know. It seems like you just felt like you were just going to yell iceberg.
Well, I mean, I did what I could, to advocate for a platform that could win, and I tried to use evidence-based arguments for it.
Once you determine, all right, without that platform, once you determine she's not going to do it, and she's not going to change because of your Twitch stream or our Twitch stream, it's more likely, it seems to me, if you or I or people of our ilk have any influence at all, we might be able to get a couple of people to vote in one way or not. I don't know, or at the very least, if there's any reason for us to even engage in this stuff, we might have more. You got to assume a couple, and it feels like that to me is a more productive thing than
blame the voters. Blame the commentators and the voters for the campaign's inability to.
No. I'm not blaming in the same way. I'm not blaming the people who could run to the other side of the deck for the boat headed to the iceberg. But I'm just saying, what action can you take to avoid that iceberg? Maybe it won't work. Maybe it will.
Okay, that's a perfect example. So, I mean, I think with the Titanic, it's going to hit the iceberg. You can calculate it out. I could look at it and I could say, even if all of us stood over here, and I had the perfect knowledge to say that, and we hit the iceberg.
Real quick, he's doing his booty dance. He does this thing where he's just like, oh yeah.
My job is to then grab the pistol from whatever member of the security staff and go into the captain's chair and grab a hold of the wheel, for the next election, for the next iceberg.
No.
That's what our job is now at this point.
Yes. I mean, but you brought up the polling as if it was an issue, and my contention is, that's all well and good, but I mean, there's really, if you think a disaster is coming, you do everything you can to avoid the disaster, as opposed to
Which is what I did. I did everything I could to avoid the disaster. I think people that were kind of soft pedaling Kamala actually made her more like.
Oddly enough, they were both kind of culpable of the same thing.
Likely to lose because, it was very clear that, for example, in Dearborn, Michigan, that they were not going to support Kamala Harris without some sort of concession. And unfortunately, what we saw in the evidence is that Michigan actually swung the most toward Trump of all states that were swing states. And
yeah, but how do they feel now about that? I honestly, I'm not even trying to be a dick, but that was so ineffective where it's just like, we're going to protest vote. But what are you protesting now? And then you do this thing where all of a sudden, because the opposition's so much harder, they're just like, what do you do? That doesn't sit well with me, because I do care about the suffering of the Palestinians. So now all of a sudden you totally lose it and you don't see a pathway to victory. So you give up.
That, there was the biggest delta between
lesson learned
2020 and 2024. And that was foreseeable. And I think if more left liberals had been openly saying, hey, Kamala, you're unacceptable right now with this position that you have, and Joe Biden, you need a break from Joe Biden. And then, ultimately what we do in the voting booth, if I went in there and voted for Kamala Harris, that's an anonymous decision that I make at the last second. But
we need to go back to that. We just need to go back to, hey, my vote is my choice, and I'm not going to just say who I voted for. I mean, me, obviously, I'm in a different position, but realistically, society was a lot better off for that.
Public voice, I do what I can to try to push her to the left. And then there's another conversation that's coming, which is the more important conversation, which is who should we listen to going forward, right? Should we listen to the people who said she was going to win that said it wasn't that it was an important issue for young people. It was an important issue for the voters, that she didn't need to break from Biden, and that everything is going to be okay and Kamala Harris is going to win? Or should we listen to the people that said, hey, we need to have an economic populist message. We need to have higher standards with the Democratic Party. We shouldn't play patty cake with, the people that hate us and want to destroy the left and the Democratic Party. I mean, she was really setting her campaign up as an anti-left-wing campaign, a very Starmerist campaign. Yeah. She was taking advice from the Starmer people who, when they took power in the Labour Party in the UK, the first thing they did is they threw out all the left-wing Democrats, like Jeremy Corbyn, like physically out of the Labour Party, who accused him falsely of being anti-Semitic, who they made sure to delist and deselect a bunch of left-wing candidates from the Labour Party who've been loyal Labour members for decades. She was taking advice from those people. So if Kamala Harris had won, that would have been her mission. Her mission would have been to inculcate the neoconservatives like Liz Cheney, which was her number one surrogate that she closed the election with.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen.
No, Rise, they're totally doing that. True. I don't like how they isolate specific groups and blame those people. Yeah. I mean, they're it's not just one group even. It's so many.
Believe me.
So if you're mad at me that Kamala Harris lost, I could just say, like,
I'm not mad
hey,
at you.
I tried my best to convince people that she needed to change. And I was very on board I was very on board when the switch happened.
Mike, I'm not mad at you that Kamala Harris lost. I'm just saying, like, in terms of efficacy, you brought up the polls. I wanted to go forward from there. But from your perspective, what did Elise Slotkin do, let's say, in Michigan? Like, when we saw, a Gallego win in Arizona or Slotkin win in Michigan, what did they do that Harris did not?
Well, I see a lot of people saying that it was their campaigns, but the reality is it's in the nature of the type of voters that Donald Trump won. Donald Trump won low propensity voters that traditionally was the purview of the Democratic Party, the working class. And one of the problems with lower propensity voters is they're not as ideologically committed. So what just happened is the Democrats did better with this upper class, more elite type of person who votes completely down ballot. And the Republicans won a lot of low propensity voters who just came in there to bullet vote for Donald Trump. And there was vote drop off. And so those people kind of, they walked through the raindrops because it was a close enough election that you have those low propensity voters. I think Slotkin was a little bit better on issues like Israel. I think she came out and said something, she said some bullshit. She was a huge AIPAC supporter, and she's going to be, another Kirsten Sinema. And she almost lost because of that. But I think it was the nature of the low propensity voters, not
so how
voting
do
for Trump.
you reach the low propensity voter? Like, I mean, how do you do that if you're
speak to populist things for the working class?
Kamala Harris would
start.
If that's the reason why she lost in those states, how do you reach that person in 100 days or whatever it was?
Well, I think most countries have elections that are a lot shorter than that. So the belly aching about it being short, I think.
I'm just asking. I'm asking
the longest election.
Yeah.
How do you reach those people who are not looking at the news? But maybe she goes on Rogan, I guess, or I don't know. Like, what is the solution for when you're running against this TV star, and to reach a low propensity, low news consuming the voter?
Well, I think the first thing is if we look at the campaign, she was most successful when people could delude themselves into believing she was going to be a break from Biden, which was very early on with the selection.
Yes, but she was most successful with people who were following. I mean, the people you're talking about are the ones who Googled on November 5th, did Biden drop out? That was the top trending search term on that day. I mean, so like what do you do?
Well, I mean, she lost the double haters. She lost the people that didn't like both parties, number one. And if you want to get me to answer the question, I will say this, like, it's a materialist answer, which is these people did not believe she was the change candidate. She told people she wasn't the change candidate. She told people she was the Biden second term. She campaigned with very unpopular, very right-wing Republicans like Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, who had no popular base. I think when she was popular, when her polls were the best, was early on when there was a switch up.
That made me uncomfortable. That made me super uncomfortable. Where, now I'm voting along the party lines with Dick freaking Cheney. He was the devil to me. Pretty much all throughout high school and my college years.
And young people of color, we were all progressives. We're excited that she might be closer to.
That's just, it's literally just keeping us fighting with each other. And then we're just having these cyclical arguments, and then we're blaming each other all the way up to the next election without building any, making any progress or building towards anything better.
The Kamala Harris of 2020 than what ended up just being Joe Biden, but with a different presentation, a little bit younger. I don't think this was a messaging defeat. I think this was a material defeat. I think that Joe Biden presidency was very unsuccessful on the merits. For example, like the average age of a home buyer has reached an all-time high of 56 years old. The facts are that child poverty and poverty spiked in 2022 at the fastest rate it has ever done since the Great Depression.
Well, that was because we had
the ending of
at the fastest rate in the
they ended the child tax credit ended. So plus you also had inflation that was extremely high, and it's probably it's underestimated because we changed the way we calculated inflation in the 80s to not include insurance costs and interest costs. And the reality is both of those are spiking extremely much faster than inflation, especially in places like Florida, where Kamala Harris did extremely poorly.
I think we can agree. I mean, I my assessment of Biden's term is probably a little bit different from yours when I look at like unionization rates going up and
the unionization rate hit a record low in 2023.
Over the course of the Biden administration, there were more unionization than we've seen in decades. But
there was more grassroots energy. But as far as like, if you look at the total. No. Look at the employment, and I can pull up the report.
Oh no, I'm talking about new unions starting, like new unions, new shops. The membership in unions may have
declined again.
Declined, but the number of new unions starting is exponentially larger, which is of course the first step when you're dealing with this. I mean, you're dealing with a 40-year decline or 50-year decline. But all right, well, Mike, this was fun. I got to jump.
Listen, Sam. I mean, I think all of us have a slightly different understanding of like where the country is, and where working people are. I think working people just see visible poverty. They see the fact that they can't afford to buy a home. They see the fact that unions are weaker than ever. They see a pugilistic foreign policy that was imperialist abroad, and and even the immigration issue was based on Joe Biden's extremely harsh punishments of Cuba and Venezuela, millions of refugees flowing because he sanctioned those countries and to try to destroy their economies and brought millions of people here. And then
after Obama actually made such headway with Cuba specifically,
and he doubled down on supporting Donald Trump's immigration policy as a panic rather than to re-examine any of that. So I hope in the future we can have a Democratic Party that's a little bit more progressive than the one that was utterly defeated and crushed into a quadfecta. All right, everybody.
I agree.
Yeah,
Mike, great to see you again.
Great to see you, bud.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. To hear, see where Mike was.
It's a good interview. Yeah. Real quick, let me get my music back, and then we'll go into the summary portion of this. Okay, so real quick, read the comments here. The blame game is not helping anything. I agree with that, and I address that, but. It really isn't. It's just, it's going to keep us from actually building, a good resistance party. So I don't think it was one or the other. Just the messaging just was a bit mixed. Yeah. Rise. I know you need a broad coalition, but really you need to get the Bernie voters fully on board and speak to the working class. Yeah, but so the problem with that is the populism, behind Bernie's campaign. Even that, the grassroots, it was one of the biggest grassroots campaigns, but still, we couldn't beat the Democratic establishment. We could, the other thing that they weren't doing was they weren't playing chess, against the Democrats. You could argue that we should have seen what the Wasserman move when she bolstered Hillary's candidacy. God, I'm still flailing over that frickin' betrayal. That was brutal. That was a brutal one. But realistically, I think that what Mike said there was pretty much dead on. And I have to be fair and say that I don't agree with Mike on a lot of stuff. His positions, specifically during the election cycle, were a lot more intense, I guess. Because I do think back to the DNC, and he was dogging on her pretty hard, man. Fire Fist Ace. Kamala really didn't resonate with the economy. She wasn't wrong, but she assumed the American public was smart enough to examine both sides. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? She did do that. I think she actually did that on the interview where she even said, I don't think the American people are as like stupid as you think they are. I think she essentially said. I think this is a Fox News one, but yeah, unfortunately that one bit her in the ass, because do you guys know what the top Google search the day of the election was and the day after the election? The top Google search the day of the election was, is Joe Biden still in the race? And then the day after the election, the top Google search was, what's a tariff? So I'm sorry if that kind of puts a damper on your on your thoughts about the American electorate. God. It really is. It's depressing. Excuse me. Need a little water. But yeah, I have faith. I don't know. The one thing that I'm really enjoying is how we're not just seething and sitting in this, because I have had more than, one person in my circles, like in real life and online, say like, okay, this just kind of pushed me to want more from the Democratic Party. It pushed me to actually like look into what can be done instead of just giving up, which you know what? Right there, getting these people engaged in that regard made me a lot more comfortable with where we're heading as far as like a resistance party. And also, I know this sounds super weird, but the fact that AOC won a landslide victory with the help of a Donald Trump ballot. So that speaks to the populism of America. That speaks to the idea that they are sick of the establishment politicians that are collectively, getting rich off us, and then just doing the cycle of lobby to government to lobby to government to lobby to government. Like, it's ridiculous. Rise, there was also a can I change my vote? I did see that. Mm-hmm. Yes. Robin B, can I change my vote came up here too. See, you both were just like remembering immediately. It's just, yeah, buyer's remorse, anybody? But I recently made a video on my channel, if you guys haven't already checked it out, about my comments. It's not what you think it is. I'm not just reading the mean comments. It's specifically the mean comments. God, I hate this YouTube game I have to play, but whatever. I have to play it. It's actually just a bunch of Trump supporters commenting on a video I did where I said that they had buyer's remorse, and it got flogged. I think close to like something like 100 now on that one. It was a lot. And, it was fun. Actually, that's one of my more fun videos if you just want to have a nice little laugh and kind of vibe. But it's interesting. And a lot of it was, buyer's remorse. We'll see what you think when prices are down. My favorite comment, though, I remember it off the top of my head, was it was this guy that was just talking about, well, I thought he was gonna outlaw abortion, and I thought he was coming for all you liberal broadcasters. How am I watching you? And I had to sit there and just go like, this dumb MFer thinks that Trump is already in the White House. And then I followed this guy just to keep up. Why not? Sure shit. He's commenting on other videos where he's like, oh, well, this isn't that bad. And oh, well, Biden's going to start World War III. So he does have an understanding of who the president is. Yeah, so many winners in there too. Like, I remember one of the guys, just because one of my favorite movies is Back to the Future. So I saw that he had the Back to the Future logo as his avatar, and I was like, oh, cool. But then I saw it said Back to the Kitchen, and I was like, ugh. Robin B, love the stream, have to go. Oh, I'm sad to see you go, but I really appreciate it. I hope you can join me tomorrow and on Friday. We're gonna have a real fun one on Friday, so be prepared for that one. Tomorrow's going to be a shorter one, unfortunately, because Thursday is my D&D game. So I have to, I got that commitment, Actually, tomorrow's not D&D. We are playing a new campaign from a new system called Fabula Ultima that's based on Japanese role-playing RPGs, JRPGs. So it's very much in the vein of like a Final Fantasy, like think Final Fantasy 6. Very cool. You have to buy all your equipment right off the bat. You know, I like that stuff. It's my favorite type of campaign. Start from level 0 and work your way up. You know, some campaigns are real fun where you can just, have a one-off and just be like, we're going on an adventure. Level 15, let's go. But yeah, I have been playing the same campaign for 3 years now. It's kind of crazy. Hope you guys are into D&D here. I'm from what I just saw, one person definitely was not. They were just like, okay, this got a little nerdy for me. Bye. But Robin, I believe, was not that. Robin's cool. We love Robin here. From what I'm understanding, she is she's actually been part of my channel before I even started streaming. Man, streaming. I'm doing the Donald Trump thing. Share your ashes. D&D sucks. What? I dare you. Love me some D&D. D&D's awesome. What do you mean video games suck? I couldn't even say that with even a funny face, because I'm like, well, you know what I'm doing when I get off here? Probably gonna go and play some Sonic Frontiers, because that's the game I am currently playing. It is a fun-ass game that I just had on the shelf for like a year. I'm like, you know what? I want to play that. I actually started playing it like the day after the election because I was like, I don't want to think about anything. But Sonic the Hedgehog is fine. Then I watched Sonic 2 because I had never seen it. It's actually a good movie. Don't need kids to watch it, even though it is a little bit kiddie. But then the Knuckles series is also pretty good if you're into that. It's so weird. I'm part of another person's community, Xanderhall, who's he's a good streamer. Like, he's a really good streamer. Check him out if you haven't already. He's much younger than me, though. So he's like 24, 25. And just seeing how into Sonic, like him and his community are. And then I just realized how different, like, him being into Sonic is compared to me. Because they got all this deep lore. They got, like, comic lore. They got so many characters that I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, they got a bat character I've never even seen. Like, I stopped at Shadow the Hedgehog and I was pretty much done. So it was kind of crazy. I was like, But then again, I think, we had more of it's just a video game. What am I talking about? We had Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog with Jaleel White. He was, what's his name? Urkel. Yeah, he was, did I do that? Yeah, you remember that guy? That show was from, that was in Chicago. Well, not filmed in Chicago, but it was set in Chicago. Mr. Winslow. Oh, man. That's always sad to see somebody from the chat go. Rise, true, but they didn't have the pleasure of playing the Mega Drive days. Oh, you scamp. You scamp. Oh, yes. You know what's really weird? One of my favorite Sonic games is one of the least popular. It was Sonic Spinball. I loved Sonic Spinball. It was so good. It's so good. I just recently, I have it on my Switch. I love that game. As a kid, I was never able to get past level 4. I just got to level 7. So, the last 3 levels have been fucking completely new to me. So that's kind of cool. It's like the Lion King game. Eventually, I want to go back and play that, the Sega one, which is ungodly hard. Like, if you die, you die, and it takes you right back to the beginning of the game. So, Toy Story was like that too, but I beat that one. That was like one of the first mission games that me and my buddy had on a sleepover once, where we went all night just trying to beat that damn game. I remember the final level where you have to do the RC car with Buzz and Woody. Oh man, that was merciless. Yeah, man, those Disney games were It's unreal how hard those were. Aladdin. Sonic 06 was the best Sonic. Actually, I'm gonna put a damper on that one. Sonic Frontiers is the best Sonic. I'm not even kidding. Because it reminds me of Sonic 06, but it's like more open world, and it has the bumpers. Because I don't know what the hell was Sonic Rush for DS was my favorite. Oh, hell yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, you were just trolling. I was about to say, like, wait a minute. Sonic 06 was, it was okay. Like, Adventures was, oh, you're talking about the one for Xbox. Oh my God, I was thinking Adventures. Oh, that one sucked. Oh my God, you're totally trolling. That game sucked ass. Yes. No, Sonic Rush for DS is probably one of the best Sonic games. Hands down. Right, Sonic 3 and Knuckles was good. Long time ago, but that was my first one. That was my first one that like I got that like my friend didn't have. But my first one I ever played was Sonic 2. Because it was Sonic and Knuckles. I played Sonic, my friend played Knuckles. Sorry, it's my house. My house, you bring over your Sega, still my house. I was one of those kids. Bloodstone by Stars. Sonic Rush was the best. Hashtag my childhood. I still have actually. Oh yeah, I haven't put it down here yet. I have my 3DS, and I actually have. I still have that game. I kept all my video games, so like I actually have like a really strong vintage collection. Vintage. At that point, it was just a guy who never traded his games to GameStop, and all my friends thought I was stupid. Sonic 06 was the one where he was in love with the human girl. That was it. Yes. Oh, that was so weird. Oh my God. I've still got a Mega Drive somewhere. Nice. Yeah. We were just talking about the 32X the other day. That's funny. Sorry for all the Sega talk. I just saw 3 people dip out. You know what? My stream. I get to talk about what I want to talk about. I'm talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, damn it. I don't get to do this enough. Because even with like my friends that are like into comics and stuff, yeah, they hashtag lost blood. That sucks. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's nothing worse than when you lose like one of your systems or like one of your game cartridges that had all your save data on it, and like you want to go back to it, you don't have it. Oh, I know that pain. That's a rough one. I also have like this weird thing where it like the streaming the video games doesn't do it for me, and also emulating, like I have to play it on the original device. So like I recently busted out my Game Boy Advance because I was just like, yeah, kind of want to play that. But all right, people are starting to dip off here. I gotta get back to my job. Sorry, we're getting off the Sonic Stunlock, okay? We're gonna go back to the politics and cover something here. Oh, I just realized I'm still recording my last segment. You know what? That's the second one I'm gonna have to bumper. Whatever. You gotta love these little Stunlocks that I do. Yeah, Bloodstone, I still can't get over that. That sucks that you don't have your old stuff. Yeah, are you talking about your Mega Drive or your DS? Because if you don't have your DS, that's the one I'm talking about. Mega Drive, I could get. I'm sorry, I can live without a Mega Drive. Oh, Sonic Rush. Here. You know what? Screw it. Let's see how much Sonic Rush is. You know what? I got some good news. Sonic Rush is only $20 or $15 on eBay. So, yeah, Bloodstone. If you still have your 3DS and you want to play it, honestly, that's one I would say rebuy it. And it comes with the case. You know what? I'm one of those guys. I like having my physical media, so I also am like really into cataloging this kind of stuff. Like, I at one point will make a video where I'll show you guys all my little collections and stuff like that. This is going on Discord and members only, though. Sorry. Well, yeah, when I do that, I'll show you guys my DVD collection. I might as well be a Blockbuster. I have quite the DVD collection. Again, every time that Walmart had a sale, like anything under $5, I bought them. And if I even like slightly liked the movie, I got so many movies that I'm just like, yeah, it's all right. I just actually did that though, where I like pulled a random one, and I pulled Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke, which is a vampire movie set in the vein of like Underworld, and I forgot how underrated it is. It's actually like really good. Funny part was I grabbed it because I was like, Daybreakers, I kind of remember that sucking, and then I was like, this is a good movie. It's like, what the fuck? All right. Bloodstone by Stars. All I have is my 2DS. I'm trying to get more games to have a small collection. Bloodstone by Stars. Sonic Rush is technically a DS. It's not 3DS. I think Sonic Rush Adventures was the 3DS one. So, Rise. Yeah, after not playing for ages, you realize nostalgia is a pretty big factor. Yeah. I don't know about that though, because shit. No, you are right. Because I restarted Kingdom Hearts, and I've been playing the HD collection, and even in the HD collection in Kingdom Hearts 1, they kept a movement mechanic that made it so Sora would take like almost a half step too much. Oh my god! I still can't get over why would they keep that? Why? It was something that could have been fixed in the HD remaster. No, we gotta keep it as a thought. We gotta keep this as an authentic piece of the game, so it frustrates you, so you just don't play it anymore. Because then what I did is I just moved right on to Kingdom Hearts 2, where they fixed that mechanic. It will play on 2DS. Fire Fist. Yep. Yes, it will. It will definitely play on a 2DS. I still have my my wife has a 2DS. Oh, hey guys, get this shit. It is snowing outside right now. It's like a little winter wonderland. I went to go let my dog out. It was just like completely white out. I'm like, hey, snow. I love snow. I'm a December baby, so I love me some snow. Rise, that's what I mean. It gets better to have that positive nostalgia than go back and realize it's not. Yeah. Occasionally, yes. The 2DS is still very versatile. A lot of begging from my parents when I first came out. Yeah. Oh god. You had to beg your parents for a 2DS? Ugh. I was I was just fresh out of high school in my first apartment when I got my 2DS. Oh, yikes. Yeah, this happens to all of us. We start realizing when things came out, and you're just like, wait a minute, that was yesterday. It's like, no, it wasn't. I still feel like the Wii just recently came out, and then I realized that thing is technically it's a classic console now. Like, although it's still fun. You know what? Of all the ones that held up, we still play Wii Bowling. We also, I also have the one on Switch that we've been playing, which that one's fun. Yeah, it just doesn't have the same tricks that the Wii one had. I'm sorry, the twist the wrist and the little whip. I have a friend. He actually might be in here. We'd get pissed at him every time that we'd be playing Wii Bowling, because we'd all be taking it seriously, man. We'd all be like, getting our form. And this motherfucker, I'm not even going to try not to swear, because if you see this, you know who you are, and oh man, you suck. At Rise, don't ever go back and watch Gundam Wing. I ruined it for myself forever. Yeah, recently did that one too. But yeah, my friend would sit there on the couch and roll perfect strikes by going like this. And we would just sit there losing our shit, and they didn't care. It was weird. It was like done with like, they should have had sunglasses, just wearing one of those bouffant things. Just plebeians. Yes, and Fire Fist is right. if you're gonna watch any Gundam series and ruin it for yourself, yes, a case of 2020 nostalgia. Yeah. Fire Fist. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, God. I actually remember the day that my my grandmother, well, my step-grandma, yeah, my grandma, she played Wii Bowling once, and it was so funny because she did the same, like, it was almost like the same kind of thing because she couldn't really stand, but she's like kind of leaning and she's doing it and she's getting a strike, and it was Fire Fist. Yeah, I know it's you. Sorry, I was trying not to blow up your spot. But yes, that annoyed me. If you can't tell, that one still, because guess who the asshole that was like pretending he was at the bowling alley? He's thinking, oh, I've got great form. I'm sitting there building my confidence. I'm a Wii champion, damn it. And this, you know what, Fire Fist? This is why we stick to the Switch one. This is why. We're not going back. We all know, too. We're all onto your shit now. God, the day we all kind of, like, all collectively realized it, too, we were just like, Wii's ruining the game! Wii Tennis was my jam in my tween years. You know what? That one was a lot more fun because that one did really require you to get up and, like, you know... Actually, if you really like the Wii Tennis Bloodstone, if you haven't played essentially the Wii Sports version for Switch, it's like the Switch Sports or whatever. It's the same type of collection. It has bowling. It's just a little, you know, I guess better. Yeah, that one's really fun. I'd actually argue that tennis is better than the bowling game, in my opinion. But bowling's just classic. It's the easiest way to just be like, yep, let's go. Bloodstone by Mars made me like actual tennis. It's kind of like how FIFA made... Okay, I'm sorry, Rise. I think I'm about to get a rise out of you, but yeah, I didn't get into football or soccer until I played a FIFA game, really. It literally took me going, oh, this is like hockey, just running on a bigger field, but the positions are pretty much the same and you have a few extra guys. But also, you know what? Since we're talking about Fire Fist here, I have a funny story about this one where I have always consistently been probably the worst video gamer in our group, where whatever. I try, but it was really funny where I started playing FIFA and my friends, they didn't really play FIFA. So I played Fire Fist in it, and when I won, I got like aggressive, like in their face, just like, oh, suck it! Oh. And they're just sitting there taking it, and without missing a beat, they're just like, I've never played this game. I'm just like, I don't care. It's frustrating when your friend group is, you know, not just good at video games, but they can play they can actually challenge competitively in certain things, specifically, you know, for like competitive fighting games. And it's like, I love all of them. Street Fighter, you know, and that's a perfect example. Yes, you got FIFA'd. you did get FIFA'd. You got FIFA'd pretty hard, bro. Rise, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Rise, actually, you know what? I don't really have a team that I root for, you know? I do like Deadpool, so obviously, was it Wrexham or whatever? It's like the closest I've gotten to being like, yeah, maybe I'll check out that club, but I don't know. For you, since you're such a cool viewer, what's your team? I think that maybe I'm ready to fly some colors, so let me know what your team is. And Rise, I played about as much rugby as football, then tennis and golf. You know what? My friends are getting into golf real hard right now. Although maybe I will. It reminds me. Golf is a weird one because it reminds me of being ignored by my dad. Like, anytime he was supposed to be technically spending with us, he'd be either, working or golfing. So, or I'd be on the golf course with him, just bored in the golf cart because this was before phones. So I'm just like, maybe like, I'm a Hibernian fan, known as the Hibs or the Hibbies. Cool. Look here. I'm gonna look that up real quick. I want to see your how do you spell that? Hope you spelled that right. I mean, I'd assume you did. Oh, FC. There it is. I'll share my screen for this one. Okay. I'm assuming this is it. It's a Scottish sport, so it's not seen as much of a posh sport. Ah. It is Scottish. I keep forgetting that. The classic Robin Williams bit. Fucking golf! It is such a great bit, though. It's just like, wait, so you're telling me you just hit it one time? Just like, no! You hit it 18! You do this 18 fucking times! Yeah. So you whack it once, no, and then you whack it again! Means Irish, so it's... Oh, cool! So that's actually neat. So... While I was studying up for my buddy's wedding, I actually found out that I have like Irish-Scottish heritage in our I forgot what it's called, my kilt color. But yeah, so that's cool. Actually, he's watching this right now, so he can say yes. Oh, guys, we're on Bing again. God damn it. I like the colors though. I'm a big green fan. Oh yeah, I remember that Robin Williams bit. Yes, it was great. You want to have to play fucking golf. So it's like croquet. Fuck croquet. No, you just hit one ball. Not into the little ones. Yeah, my clan. Yeah, my clan. Yeah, I'll pull that up for you another time because that one's in my phone. I don't feel like still knocking on that too much, but honestly, no, this is cool. So are you here's where I'm gonna ask the question though. Are they any good? Not that I care, because honestly I will support it. Like, dude, I'm a Cubs fan, okay? I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, so that should just tell you that I'm okay. Well, currently I'm a Blackhawks and Bears fan too, so I'm okay with supporting a shitty team. I have absolutely, no reserves about that at all. Sorry, I was just waiting for an answer. I'm not sure. Okay, so it's the same thing. Being a Hibs fan is tough. All right, yeah. So I'm assuming like, what, Liverpool and all them are like the Pats, They're one of the better teams in Scotland, normally top 4. Oh, then that's nothing to shake your head at. Top 4? Like, I mean, you guys are, it's pretty much like playoff, stuff right there, so that's good. All right. I have one more little segment that I wanted to do here before we get into that. Finish. One of the top Celtic and Rangers are the big teams in Scotland. Oh. That sucks that the Rangers are one of your teams too. Actually, Celtics. Boston Celtics. Wait, is it Celtic or Celtic? I thought, is it both? Because now that, like, you always hear that, like, especially in American pronunciation, where it's just like, yes, this is Celtic music. But then we have the Boston Celtics. Or did we just get used to saying it wrong so long that it's like, no, it's not pronounced Celtic. Like it is. Okay. Cool. I appreciate that, because now I'm going to stop saying Celtic. It's Celtic. Although, you know what sucks when you're an American and you start pronouncing things right? You start getting looked at like an asshole. I did that with zebra. Yeah, but I learned it. And then somebody's just like, oh, look at your pretentious ass, like, culture or something. You know, this is why people look at Americans with the side eye and just go like, you guys are fucking dumb. You guys watch American football in Scotland by any chance? Or American hockey? American hockey. The NHL. Which is technically Canadian too. Technically is Canadian. They just have a great song though. Check it out. Maybe after the stream. Sunshine on the Leaf. You know what? I'm gonna cue that up. Sunshine. Sorry, dude. I'm not trying to troll you. It's just funny because, yeah, dude, you're looking at the king of that shit. I also go back and edit my comments if I can, or like if I'm in somebody another YouTuber's chat or something and I really screw up, I'll just delete the comment. I'll be like, you know what? No, redo. But I mean, I'm a little anal retentive like that. Okay, so Sunshine on Leith. What's a Leith, by the way? Is it like a lake or something? Yeah, what's a Leith? Oh, apparently it's a movie too. You know what's great? I'll just look it up. Leith. Scottish Gaelic is a port area around Edinburgh. Ah, see? Got it right. Aha. Found at the mouth of the War of Leith and is home of the Port of Leith. Oh. Sorry, is that where you're near then? Oh, so you're like right by Edinburgh. Oh, shit. Cool. You know what? Rise, don't be surprised if I do hit you up. I'm going to the comedy festival out there. Now, the big thing is whether or not I actually get back on stage. I'll be honest, I've been getting the itch again. Or maybe I'll just stream from there and just have some fun. I'm from Stockbridge. Let's see. Stockbridge, Scotland. Sorry, I'm not trying to stalk you or nothing. I'm just curious. Let's see. Where's it put you? Oh, wow. This is where you live? Bro, you live in Harry Potter. Fuck. Dude. Look at that. I mean, yes, it's one Google image, but still. Stonework is wonderful. Wow. Oh, wow. You got quite the views over there. I was looking for more of a map. Really? God, Bing. I can't stand freaking Bing. Here we go. Here's the map. Yeah, you're like, oh, geez, yeah, you're right there. Cool. Sorry. Really? No kidding. That's crazy. I lived in a house for a while within 30 seconds of that image. That's dude, that's so nuts. That's like somebody just pulling a random image from Chicago and me being like, that's funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, this is cool though. Like, yeah, I didn't. So you're like big city area. So for you, what's like the rural area for you? Like, how far is that from where you live? If you don't mind me asking, because like for me, I have like a rural area that's like maybe 10-15 minutes away from me, and then I have another rural, like the rural area that's about 45 minutes away from me. Brings back so many memories. I mean, I'm glad that I could take you down memory lane, man. That's kind of cool. I like doing this where it's just looking some stuff up and then you're like, I mean, that's fun. That's nuts. That's one of my favorite things that's happened on stream yet. That's so funny. Wow. I left within 30 seconds of there. Wait, so if you don't mind me going back then. Here. So this image right here. Yeah, check the water of Leith. Right in the city, there's a lot of green spaces. You know what? I was gonna comment on that. It's a very green city, and I really, really like it. I mean, aesthetically, this is beautiful. This is one of the, like, damn, this is what I was looking for. Honestly, it's kind of why I like Chicago too, is because we have a lot of like stone-faced structures like this and older structures. Dude, Rise, this is cool. Like, look at that. So you saw that church, just that's that tower, just all the time, huh? That's cool. I thought that was a different area, but also lived within a minute of there too. It's crazy. Wait, was this the one? That's Circus Lane, I believe. This is cool, man. So is this technically the waters of Leith, or sorry, sunshine on Leith. Man, I just almost stuttered there. That was weird. All right, so here we go. Right in the city, there are lots of green. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. I thought that was different. That's Circus Lane. Okay, the guy from Grand Theft Auto bought that church in the background for the community when it was gonna go under. No, Laszlo? Are you talking about Laszlo? Or like the actor from Grand Theft Auto? Because if you're talking about Laszlo, I actually have a little bit of history with Laz. Good history, by the way. Nothing bad. Real good guy. He was like one of the first like interviews. Leslie Benzies. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is. That's you know what? Let me look that up real quick. Yeah. Oh, crap. Yeah. Scottish video game producer and former president of Rockstar North. You know what's even a smaller world thing right here? The fact that he did that in your town. Rockstar Games has like or for the longest time had an office right downtown here. Michigan Avenue. No, the original executive producer of all GTA games until 5. He got kicked out of the office, so he isn't part of the game anymore. Started his own one. He did 5 as well. Has friends with my brother. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, Laszlo, I know, is an executive producer on the game, so yeah. It all started in Dundee. I can tell you this. I grew up in a town called Dundee. Dundee, Illinois. Like, no kidding. You can look that one up if you want. I mean, I put your childhood town out here on blast. I'm literally sitting here just going, this place is beautiful. I want to move. What is up with this? So, Rise, are you familiar with Loner Box? I know, like, all you Scots, you know, if it's the same as us Chicagoans, we all know each other, you know, like, I'm a friend with CM Punk. I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at that, but it is funny. But no, like, are you familiar with Loner Box and all his shenanigans? Because we've gone into his whole thing with Destiny, and I am a Loner Box viewer, so it's also kind of sad to watch somebody that you respect also kind of all of a sudden just take a turn for the worse, specifically because he sees that that's where the content shift is. Thank you. So real interesting. If you ever seen the movie The Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks, that was filmed right downtown in my childhood. Like literally, how you were like 30 seconds from there. I was 30 seconds from the bridge in there. Yeah, he gives me the Scottish cringe. Yeah. I'm sorry. That sucks. It sucks, man. No, it always sucks when somebody that had some, you know, pretty good politics and you kind of overall agreed with, all of a sudden they just take the fucking turn. Okay, so you've seen it. That is literally filmed in my hometown. It was funny because I was maybe a freshman in high school and we tried to get Tom Hanks's attention. And when we did it, my friend, he was like hanging out of a car and he was just like, Tom Hanks, and he's like, look everybody, it's Tom Hanks. And it wasn't him. It was totally just a random dude in like the 20s getup, but everybody that was looking for Tom Hanks rushed it. But then they all looked at him and he just like slams the door back in the car and goes like this because he thought he was right, so he wasn't even trying to actually troll. It's kind of funny. I thought he was reasonable as well. I dislike about him is he seems disingenuous. Unfortunately, I think that Loner is disingenuous. I think that like he seems to be doing the pivot that, you know, Destiny did all too like easily, especially for the fact that he was so involved in the leftist like communities that we're part of, you know, like he was involved in like the Vosh sphere, and he was like involved in the Hasan community, and he also did, you know, pretty well in panel discussions. He's one of like the few streamers that streams him just playing chess, which I hate to admit I'm kind of into. So yeah. I watch some lame gaming streams. You got like everybody's watching Call of Duty, and here I am searching out solitaire streams and chess streams, because those are also the guys. Like I played against Loner a few times, so it's kind of fun. You know, it's one of the things that you'll get out of this community if you become a member and you start joining me on my Saturday streams. You can play some video games with me and do all that exclusive fun stuff. I love my community here, but I gotta chill. I know. I saw one person already dip. It's just like, oh, here he goes. Look, he's gonna do this thing that everybody else does. But yeah, sorry, I'm a YouTuber. And I would like to do this for a actual living. So, not gonna speak out of turn there. But realistically, if you go to my memberships page, my memberships are much cheaper than most. So, I'm a CS guy, so you have to look up smoke lines, smoke lineups, so I can't talk. Oh, okay. Counter-Strike. Immediately, I was just like, CS. Oh, yeah. I'm old school, old school. I'm talking internet cafe old school with Counter-Strike, and I haven't played since I was part of an internet cafe guild, so I'm one of those guys, though. I played a lot of Warcraft 3, not World of Warcraft, because I also have a little problem where I get really, really, really into things, like specific video games. So, like, I got into, I refused to get into Witcher because I saw how big of a game it was until COVID hit, and I had nothing else to do, so I got into Witcher. Yeah. What do you make of the H3 and Hasan beef? Jacob Troya, number one, welcome. And also, I did actually cover it at the beginning of my stream, but I can give you a quick breakdown. I think that number one, it's unfortunate. I'm just going to be completely open and honest with you. I am a viewer of both, and I give I almost said I give Hasan more leeway, but I actually give Ethan a little bit more leeway with politics, specifically because he's not a political streamer. He is more of a overall entertainer, radio show host kind of deal. But when he started crossing into this and really giving his opinions on it, I have to say it made me kind of change my view of him a little bit. He also did kind of start crowing and parroting a lot of the IDF propaganda that was going around, and that's why I really appreciated when they were doing the Leftovers podcast, because I thought that was a great opportunity to get somebody like Ethan who has good takes. He has pretty good politics for somebody that I would consider damn near apolitical, and then kind of not push them, but show his audience and show him specifically why he would fit in well with the leftist community, and why some of what he's being told may be wrong, kind of thing. But then, I do have to also blame Hasan. I think that Hasan's take on Nasrallah was wrong. I'm sorry. When he's just like, yeah, I think that he's, I don't necessarily disagree with the guy. I'm sorry, but no, that was kind of messed up, because the guy, he's legit a horrible person responsible for many deaths and many acts of terrorism and many just so much shit from the 1970s to now. So that's why I was kind of I disagree with him on that, and I could see why Ethan got so upset. But what sucks is, instead of just addressing it once or having talking it out on the Leftovers, they did it on Twitter, and they did it they did the Habibi podcast thing, or the Habibi panel discussion from TwitchCon, and all of a sudden that blew up. So it just it's the layers kept getting, piled on, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? But then Ethan got obsessed. He just got obsessed with the whole thing. And Hasan, he walked back a lot of the bad takes that he had. So honestly, I wasn't seeing that part, especially from Ethan's coverage. So full disclosure, I made a little bit of a oopsie on my part for my first stream here, where I took I didn't take Ethan's side, but I platformed his side first without platforming Hasan. So it was, I only bring this up because I feel like I would have been better suited seeing Hasan's takes on it first and then going into Ethan's, because it really did kind of make me go, oh yeah, I do kind of see this in a different light now. But I think that first and foremost, it sucks. I'm just going to be completely honest. As a guy who liked the Leftovers podcast, it sucks. I also, it's like seeing mom and dad fight kind of thing. L421, Hasan has usually been very good from the coverage I've seen, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, well, I'm willing to give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt. Also, I don't like this whole, you need to hold this person from the internet accountable for the one bad take they had. I fell victim to that with Hasan, with his Ukraine takes. And I was part of, Vosh's community at that point. So it was kind of I just listened to all the bullshit, and I did start warping my own perception of it, where I was just like, yeah, he is bad. Yeah, his son sucks. Yeah, his son has really bad takes. But then I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then it was weird because of that. I also stopped listening a little bit, to his show, and then I'm just taking everybody else's word and their clips as what Hasan said, instead of just looking at the full context. So now I'm getting better about that. I really am. And L421 also, welcome to the stream, and thank you for joining the chat. Also, sub to the channel if you haven't already. Rise, I haven't really watched much of either, but Hasan went up in my opinion. He was not only measured, but gave Ethan a lot of leeway. You would you would an old friend. Yeah, see, that's why I do appreciate that. Even to this day, if you were to sit there and shit on Ethan, he'd stop you. But that's also like what kind of I hate to use this language, but it kind of broke my heart. It was sad to see him kind of go, well, he's not my friend. Like, because he even said, like, at one point, he's just like, yeah, when your friend does this, and he's just like, yeah, that's loose language, calling him my friend. I'm like, oh. But, again, I'm one of those idiots. Like, I used to have a kind of parasocial thing with a radio show before. Opie and Anthony, they were a very popular shock jock radio show from New York, but they were nationally broadcast on Sirius XM, and I had a station that carried them too. So it was kind of funny where doing broadcasting, going to broadcasting school, and also having a friend that was in broadcasting, he starts telling me, he's just like, listen, dude, those guys are not friends. They hate each other. And I was kind of like, you're being weird about this. Come on, you just hate Opie and Anthony. You're just being a hater. But then, sure shit, it turns out he is right. It's like, it's that way with any of these guys that, like, they have a radio show together or they have a show together. I'm seeing it with Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer right now. Okay, here we go. We got some chat. Rise, we already got that one. Firefist Ace. Hasan has a lot of bad takes politically, but also a lot of good ones. But I think he is handling a lot of these influencer drama situations with a lot of maturity lately. Yeah, he is. No, he really is. That's why it's even hard to call it drama anymore, because he squashes the drama before it's even a thing. L421, there are so many lies and accusations of anti-Semitism flying around that it has lost all meaning. As someone on the left, I want to condemn my own side, but a lot of the time it's just disingenuous. That's a good take. That's a damn good take. You know what? That was kind of Hasan covered that earlier. So, like, if you guys need to go back into the stream or watch the VOD, I did cover that part. I'm also going to be releasing some of these into segments a little bit later. Duke of Bread, Hasan has matured a lot over the last few years, I've noticed. Yeah. Duke of Bread, by the way, how'd your power situation work out for you? I just remember that you had lost power and you were essentially charging your phone from a jumper box. So, but yeah, Hasan really, that's honestly what kind of got me back into not minding covering him and not minding watching his stuff. Now, mind you, I'm doing my own stream, so I'm not going to be able to watch a 6-hour stream. So those channels that I used to actively shit on and just be like, oh man, these guys making careers off clipping Hasan now are kind of my life. Like, they're making it a lot easier for me to do my job. So I think that I owe them an apology. I am sorry. Yeah. Duke of Bread, power came back on at like 5 a.m. I was late to work because my phone was dead. Dude, that sucks. Also explains why you weren't back in the stream. I was kind of wondering where you were. That sucks, man. Yeah, when I lose power, it's not fun. It's especially now doing this. Oof. I've lost power. I actually, knock on wood, I haven't lost it doing a live stream yet, but I lost it in the middle of doing some video content. And then it corrupted my files. I was so mad about that. Ugh. All right, let me hit the scaredy bear here, and we got one more segment to cover before I gotta call the show, because it's getting to that point. Scaredy bear! I've tried to watch Hasan streams. I go right back to the clip chimps. Yeah, it's... Yeah, that's my problem with him. I learned kind of how to do this from watching Hasan and learning what not to do. Whatever he does and like the things that annoy me is the stuff I'm trying not to do. Plus, I am one of the last vestige of people that has a professional broadcasting background where I was trained to constantly fill air. I was constantly, I'm very aware of dead air. I'm aware of filler words. Even though, come on, man. That's half of my vocabulary. But yeah, he has his chair streams, you know, the fact that those became famous for what those are. That's occasionally I'll do the same thing. I will have to leave my station, and I understand that maybe, just maybe, sometimes you want to just take a look around my space and get a nice look. Gotta be changing it up a little bit in here soon, because I got a new desk that I gotta get. Yeah, my desk is old, and it is small. And it is too small for what I have started to do, but... Alright, so Sunshine on the Leith. Fire Fist Ace, actually remind me that we gotta listen to that together. Because... let's shout out Rise here, man. Rise, just so you know, Fire Fist is, my IRL buddy who, you guys got some lineage. You share some lineage. Duke of Bread, you took a piss yesterday. It was devastating to the content. I know. Oh, I know. Trust me. There's nothing worse than when you go to take your piss. Then you come back, and it's the first thing that you do when you do this. So you look at your viewer log, and you're like, oh, come on. It's like you guys couldn't even wait 2 minutes. Yeah. Rise, the 2016 live version of the fans, and you'll see the quality of Hibs support. Rise, we hadn't won the Scottish Cup in over 100 years, so you understand what it's like to be a Cubs fan. Being a Cubs baseball fan was almost a meme, dude. Where like we would go knowingly to watch our team lose. Anytime I watched the movie, not Little League, Major League, I was always wondering, I'm like, why is this about the Cleveland Indians? It should be about the Chicago Cubs. But we got Rookie of the Year. You know, Rookie of the Year is a banger of a movie. All right, L421, does it concern you that Trump's cabinet picks are so beyond the pale to the point where he wants recess appointments so that the Senate doesn't have to actually vote on them? So, number one, the recess appointments thing doesn't concern me as much, because what's going underreported is the fact that going back to Clinton had recess appointments, Obama had recess appointments, they all had recess appointments, so they're making a bigger deal about that than should be made because it's Trump, which I want to be very careful on reporting stuff like that, because that's what got him elected. Just freaking out about every little thing he does, even though other presidents did it, and just because they're counting on the normal American to not know that shit, you know, that's why I'm like, okay, let's but his cabinet picks suck, plain and simple. I just don't, I think Matt Gaetz is already cooked, because now the House is going to just release the reports if they don't actually do his, not the trial, but whatever, his House ethics thing. I think it is a trial now, I think about it. But yeah, like I don't think he's gonna make it. RFK, God, like I've been having this argument so many times, because RFK has said some good things, specifically about food, like getting the bullshit out of our food and cutting the corn subsidy. So I'm kind of like, all right, but then he goes on and he says the crap about vaccines and how we just need to have like a blanket ban on vaccinations at a certain age. It's like, oh, okay, so you really do want to bring polio and, you know, all that shit back. Hell, we just had a TB case locally here. So that scared the crap out of me. Not gonna lie. L421, it's hard to know where things are going. If we went off Trump's mouth, we would have a fascist dystopia. We would go from reality. Again, Trump is too stupid, and he's just too off the cuff. What scares me is the people that are using him as the useful idiot to push his agenda. So, like, for instance, when somebody says that I'm worried that Trump is going to ban abortion. Now, am I worried he's going to executive order that? Absolutely not. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's interested in it. But the thing is, if it shows up on his desk and it shows up in the form of a bill presented by the Republicans, he's going to sign it. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, total scabs. Yeah, Firefest. Rise. By the way, I actually knew the son of the Proclaimers who wrote it, and he was dwarf. Such a cool guy. Nice. Duke of Bread. I tried to unionize the chat when you were gone, but these people are all scabs. Thanks, Duke. I appreciate you going to bat for me, man. By the way, I'm not sure if you were here when I set it up, but I did put my Discord link in the general description of my channel. So if you guys want to join the Discord and have more open chats later, try and get me into stuff, yeah, let's do that. L421, it's hard to know where things are. Oh, yeah. I just read that one, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna read it again because that one is good. It's hard to know where things are going. If we went off of things off Trump's mouth, we would have a fascist dystopia. So, yes. Long and short of that one is yes. If we went based off everything that he says and everything that comes out of his dumb head, yes. But, I don't know. I also have to huff a little hopium unless I want to completely bang my head against the wall going, yeah, it's happening again. BRB fam at the pot store. Ooh, Duke of Bread. Nice. Shout out your pot store. Actually, that's where this is from. Check it out. Ugh. Be cool, right? Say, king with his bong. My wife actually has she has another one that's reversed this. It's got the black logo and then it's got the queen on it. It's got the same thing. It's very cool. King and queen, baby. All right, we're coming to the back end of streams. I'm going to do something since you guys also made me a little jealous that you're at the pot store right now, even though I was there earlier. Ugh. Went before stream. I'm going to load up El Rigiato. At Rise Truth, the Senate majority head being anti-Trump already is surprising. See, now that's exactly it, where we have a lot of like checks and balances already kind of popping up. Also, I think that there's a lot of these people who Trump just doesn't trust. And that's good for us because they already kind of screwed him over or they did something that he perceived as a slight. So, L21, I like your setup. Do you have a real weed cart or knockoff? It's real, tobacco based. I have to be very careful with YouTube TOS here, but no, it's real. It's the real one. It's the just 80%. Yeah. It's this one was from a company called Divvy. And yes, this is my scaredy bear. Because I know, all you guys who have been here for a little bit know the joke already, and it's gonna happen, but scaredy bear. I was listening to the stream while at the weed story today. Oh, Bloodstone by Stars. You know what? You guys rule. We really have like the best community. we're a small community right now, but I'll tell you what, we're the best one. We really are. Like this is my favorite. Like I do kind of love just hanging with you guys. Yeah, I got full spec. Yeah, it's full spectrum. Jonas. And right now, yes, I am doing a little bit of the Rosin. It's called the live Rosin. Because, we had to go make resin weird. It's funny how many people will actually like hear or like they'll see that. They'll be like, live resin? So you're just telling me that this is just resin? Like my mom thought that. I'm not even kidding. So my mom, like the first time that she went to the dispensary, she actually had a med card before I did. She called me from inside and she's like, Charlie, I have a question. I'm like, what's that? She's just like, well, I need you to tell me what the difference between live resin and live rosin is. I'm like, I don't know. It was like the first time that I felt like a stoner failure. I was like, oh, and then Yeah, I just looked it up. It was a it's cultivated differently. One's used burning a bunch of butane, and the other one is like it kind of like melts it into like a little vat. It's pretty cool. It's actually really cool, actually. Yeah, but full spectrum is nuts. Okay, so Rick is loaded, so we're going to turn her on. Boom. Let it rainbow out. Rise. It was Soil-Grown Sam who rediscovered it, FYI. Yeah? Really? I'm not sure if you guys know this, but free plug. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, this is not for me, but did you know that Sam Seder, he has his own seed business called Seder's Seeds. He actually is the one who inspired me to do what I will be doing. I can talk about this more in the Discord. That's why I'm kind of trying to push you guys there, because yeah, I can only go too deep into this, but because yeah, technically I have to say th say, yeah, dumb, right? Or sebede. So you know, if you that's going to be the language from now on. I'll just be completely open with you guys. We're just going to have to say that if I want to talk about this. But yes, he had a little oopsie where he was growing and he grew all males. So now he has his own business called Seder Seeds, and he will be he has some available now, and he also has another wave coming in March. So Rise, props to Sam. Rise, he was trying to flatten some hash and he ended up squeezing rosin out, and the rest is history with hair straighteners. No that, you know what, the one time that I tried it, I used a old hair iron for my wife. You could bread. Okay, back. Y'all talking about weed now? Yes. You know what? You started it, dude. Cheers to that. You also got me jealous, so I fired the rig up. I really do appreciate that, though. I also appreciate Bloodstone. That's too funny. I really do love you guys. Like, I feel like I create a vibe here. L421. I really appreciate you liking my setup, though. That's cool. So if you have not already subbed to the channel, please do. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to end stream here soon, so give me 1 second. Yeah, you hear my dog? My buddy just got her. We never stopped. Yeah, Bloodstone by Stars. We never stopped talking about it. No, yeah, Duke, you went in and then we just kept going. We literally kept talking about it. L421, I really appreciate you subbing. Thank you. Oh, this one was a big one, guys. Oh, man. L421. I did edibles the other day, and I was high in bed for days. It was crazy. Edibles don't usually affect me, but I finally found one that was a 5,000. I'm not making that fucking number up. 5,000 milligrams, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take it. I ate a little bit of it. It was pretty bad, man. Like I was definitely on the moon. But yeah, if you didn't see, my buddy just popped up there. I'll leave the door unlocked for him just so he can come on in. Say hi, everybody. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to cover my last segment here, so that one's going into the tomorrow basket. I'm going to listen to Sunshine on the Leith when I go upstairs and have a little smoke sesh with my bud here. And also, yeah, dude, such a small world. Rise, this is crazy. Like, that's crazy. Also, Rise, just a funny aside, you You have the same name as my dispensary. My local dispensary, the one near me, is it's a Rise dispensary. Although this one says Ivy Hall because we got a few of those around too. I hate to say it, like I don't go here really, unless I'm kind of like if they're having deals or some like a better sale situation. But they got better swag or better merch. This is like the most comfortable hoodie that I own. I love this thing. God, it's so beat up though. Yeah. Nothing to do with Matt Rise. Nope. Matt Rise. Wait, who's Matt Rise? I know who Matt Rife is. Who I don't like, to be honest. And it's not just like doing the popular thing. It's like I actually tried to watch his comedy. Yeah. We were talking about it earlier when we were watching the stand-up comedian, but yeah, the whole punching up and punching down thing. And one of you guys had asked me like about Kill Tony. I do, yeah, I'm familiar with Kill Tony. I watch it. I actually am. I'm more of a Legion of Skanks fan, and like Big J Okerson and Dan Soder are my guys. Like I listened to the Bonfire like religiously before Dan Soder got off. Good roots equals good fruits. Amen. Amen to that, brother. Yeah, actually, I use a bunch of root grow stuff. But yeah, sorry, I'm still locking here. I hate to say this, but I actually gotta end stream because technically I've already gone like 20 something minutes longer than I was intending to. So I really appreciate you guys being here. I mean, dude, shout out chat. Like you guys rule. You guys make this so much fun. Honestly, I love this community that we have here. Even just like the few of us, like, man, I do feel like I'm sitting in a like circle, like a world circle. And like, yes, I mean, I wish I could pass this to you too, by the way, Al 421, because this thing's fun. I mean, this thing is a beastie. Speaking of, I need to turn that off so it doesn't die. Sorry if I spoke too much. Rise, no, absolutely not. No, guys, no. More talking, more typey. No, enjoy it. Anytime that you guys have a thought, don't be afraid, I mean, obviously you don't want to if it's against TOS, let's keep it there, eh? But no, for real, engage more. Duke of Bread, I'm a factory worker, so I can listen to podcasts and stuff. I have listened to Almost Kill Tony. I hate him though. I don't like Tony. I don't listen for Tony. So Duke, if you haven't already like gone through my videos, if you want to after this, I have a really good one where oh my god, the Elephant Graveyard made fun of Harlan Williams making fun of David Lucas on there. It's one of the funniest things that I've ever seen, and I love Harlan Williams, so it's awesome. And yeah, I'm a supreme yapper. You sure you want me to? No, Duke, you're good, man. You're good. Like, I don't mind if you're a yapper, and honestly, I try to read your comments and then read them out loud first. I'm not one of those streamers that's just going to read the comment fresh and then go, oh, oops. Got to be smart about this. Got to have a layer of, but it's fun here with random pockets of weed talk, right? I did it again, guys. I'm sorry. This is like my third stream and I just can't help it. We just sit here and we're like, dude, I just love getting high so much. So great. Oh, man. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna go smoke some flower and enjoy that because I'm a flower guy. Like I love smoking flower. Dabs are cool, but it's the same with the pens. The pen gets me by. The pen legit is just this one is called a la mode, by the way. Yeah, I know, Duke of Bread, you were in the middle of a segment. Don't worry, not reading my chats is if I'm disrupting the flow. No, Duke of Bread, to be completely honest, I actually looked at the time. I saw that I wasn't going to have time to do the segment after I said it, so I wasn't sure how honest I wanted to be at that moment. But yeah, honestly, I got a friend who's here, and it's one of those things. That's, full disclosure why I have to get off early on Wednesdays. We got plans. We got a wrestling show to watch, so we still do that kind of stuff. Get together, smoke some weed, and watch some wrestling. So is that guy I was talking about, Flower Power? Ow, nice. Yes, I love the. I'm definitely. Rise, me and you, we are of a certain guild. We are of the growing guild. You know what I mean? So it's a special place to be. Also, we're definitely going to be chatting, Rise. I'm not even kidding. Please go to my Discord so we can chat a little bit more about this, because I'm going to pick your brain. I'm literally just about to start my new set, as far as my new seeds. So let me know. But Duke of Bread, hell yeah, man. Have a good night. Appreciate the stream. I appreciate you guys. No, I sincerely do. I'm sorry though. Eventually, I am gonna be asking, hey, you guys want to join one? You want to join, do the membership thing? Because I'm gonna be having some. Realistically, I'm going to be my Saturdays are going to be members only streams, and then I'm going to be doing a lot more members only content. I'm going to be doing a members only majority port watch along if you guys want to be part of that, and then I'm also going to be doing some earlier and later shows and making that members only. So. Yeah, sorry. Again, got to play the YouTube game, but yes, it is. I did Union Dundee, so we're like brothers from a parallel universe. It really is crazy. It really is crazy, because growing up in a town called Dundee, I've gotten all that, the Crocodile Dundee jokes. I'm sure you've gotten those. Crikey, I've never been to Dundee before. So, but all right, guys, I appreciate you hanging out. I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. Wait, I just realized it's not the day I thought it was. I don't even know my own freaking schedule. I'm so dumb. Give me 1 second. Also, I did post my stream schedule on my communities page on my YouTube. So you just go to the that's not a knife. See? There we go. It's already there, guys. It's already there. But yeah, go to my community page. I have my full stream line up there, and members info, all that stuff. It's literally, if you go to videos, you'll see the shorts on. You just go all the way over to the community, and also membership. And then yes, tomorrow I will be live. Oh, it's an earlier one. I will be live from 11 to about 3 o'clock. So I'm sorry if you guys can't make that one, but I'm gonna be trying. As I said, I want to try and do this every day. Got to do the grind. But all right, good night. Good night, everybody. Real quick shout outs. Bloodstone by Stars. Good night. Rise, again, you're a superstar today. Duke of Bread, don't be afraid of talking too much. L421, I really appreciate you joining the stream. Jonas, I'm not sure if you have subbed yet. You've been kind of quiet, but if you have not subbed, please do, and join the chat next time. Firefist Ace, you know who you are. You know I love you. So,